What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio. Yeah!
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it. Congratulations. We got it to Friday here. Let's get through today and enjoy the weekend ahead. Hope all of you are having a wonderful Friday so far. We are, and you know why? Not because I just aim to have a good Friday. I mean, that's part of it. Come Hades or high water, I'm getting some Good Friday. But regardless, just because it's Friday, another reason why we're in a good mood, it's because it's McDonald's Friday. That's right. Big thank you to the fine folks at McDonald's for hooking us up with breakfast each and every Friday morning. Today, I was the one who went and got it, which is unusual. I normally don't. I think you could probably count the number of times on one hand the times I go get the breakfast. I mean, I don't mind. But I just don't do it very. Usually it's, Tanner or Sean did it back in the past, and Jeffrey, and usually it's a producer or someone else doing it. And, it's like a perk of being the host of the show. You get, that's like the one perk I got, I don't have to get to McDonald's all the time. Other people can get it. But I know today, everyone wasn't available, so I was like, hey, yeah, I can do it. No problem. So I went and visited and got McDonald's and hooked us up. We got some delicious Egg McMuffins, because you can't go wrong with the OG Egg McMuffins. There was a lot of fans of the Sausage McMuffin with egg, which I like. It's not OG's my favorite, but I do enjoy a good piece of sausage on there, too. I'll never kick it out of the kitchen. And then I got some bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits. And, of course, you cannot leave a breakfast at McDonald's without having their delicious, wonderful McDonald's hash browns. That would be a sin not to get those at breakfast time, because I think they came from God. They taste so delicious. They got to be from God. But big thank you to McDonald's for hooking us up each Friday. Swing on by McDonald's this morning. They got you covered from breakfast. Don't forget to download and utilize the McDonald's app. It's free, and it makes ordering McDonald's a breeze. You can order ahead, pick it up through curbside, drive-through, pick up to go, and then sit down and eat, whatever you want to do. The app lets you do that. And there's always exclusive deals that are app exclusive. They're only available through the app, no other way, shape, or form, and they're good deals. Like, my boss was telling me Tuesday. Tuesday, he was like, yeah, I went and got the app. You know what was on that app? And he was happy. And I was like, what's that? What's that? What's on the app there? He goes, I got a 20-piece chicken nugget and a basket, not a large fry, a basket of fries, all for $9.99. I'm like, yeah, that's what you find on the app. And the basket of fries is way bigger than large fries. I don't know the proportions, but I bet it's like 2 large fries. It's a big basket of fries. So, fries that's the technical plural. Look it up. But it's a lot of fries. And I always used to scope it for they used to have the $4.99 20-piece chicken nugget. And I'd be like, yep, that's what I want. I didn't go with the fries on that. But now you can. And they have all kinds of great deals like that. So big thank you to McDonald's. Download the McDonald's app and give her a little dance today. I think you'll like it. And then, of course, if you're looking for employment, McDonald's is hiring for all their locations. The South Main coming soon. Log on to their website, www.mchire.com. And I will tell you, the Snowburger family, who own the McDonald's here in Roswell, Artesia, and Carlsbad, and Tucumcari, they love to promote from within. That's almost all of the Nick Snowburger's management team, the folks that are at the corporate office there. Those folks all started ground level with McDonald's, just working the cash register, cleaning the restaurant, making food. And now they're management. They're part of his executive team, and like I said, so the opportunities there are absolute. You could start there working fries, and next thing you know, you've got a career there, raising a family, and being an executive as part of the Snowburger family at McDonald's here. So go online, mchire.com, and take the plunge today. Let me give you the rundown. Don't have any guests scheduled, so we'll chit-chat probably in the 8, 9 o'clock hours. I'm going to replay our Roswell Refuge interview in the 7 here in just a few minutes. We had the folks from the Refuge join us on Wednesday late in the show, so we'll have them. We'll play that for you here in just a little bit, and then we'll shoot the breeze. I think Sean, everybody will be in here, and we'll have some fun and chit-chat for you Friday for the 8 and 9 o'clock hours today. So just a nice little sit back and relax kind of show, especially after a day of inundated with news from Insurrection Day yesterday. I'm sure everyone was having fun with that one, and I heard some comparisons, and I really, to be honest, I avoided most of the media yesterday. I mean, it was on in the background, and so I kind of saw the vice president and the president speaking yesterday. I heard some of what they said later on, comparing Insurrection Day to 9/11 and all that, which I don't know. I think that's a bit offensive to people 9/11 in Pearl Harbor, but okay. Whatever you got to sell, whatever message you got to sell to people and all that. But and anyway, I try to avoid most of that stuff because I don't need the hype of someone else's lens. I can figure out the real from the hype, and I suggest you will have much better mental health if you do the same thing. And just learn, say, they're just trying to get you to do this. They're trying to get a reaction, and they don't. These entities have cried wolf one too many times for me to take anything they say seriously. So anyway, it is 7:13. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather. Good news: it's supposed to be warmer than yesterday. Yesterday was cold, and I know it was like we got supposed to get the 50s, and I don't know, man. There was something about that undercutting wind, or I just could not get like warm or comfortable all day yesterday. I kept, even like indoors wearing coats and stuff. It was just one of those days. But I think weather's nicer today. So let's take a listen together, shall we?
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty mild today with high pressure in place over eastern New Mexico. We will be cooling off a little bit with another cold front on Sunday, but no rain coming up. Sunshine and mid to upper 60s today. Overnight it looks like mid 30s and clear skies, and then a sunny Saturday warming up a little bit to the low 70s and breezy. Mix of sun and clouds and upper 50s on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 20 degrees here in Roswell, so it's not warm yet, but it's getting there. Humidity is at 62%. Winds are calm at the moment. Sunny today. Expect highs back into the mid-60s, 65 officially with south winds at around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear. Looking at an overnight low right at freezing, 32 degrees, which is actually a little warmer than previous couple nights. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Saturday, we're back into the 70s. Sunny, 71 tomorrow. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour, shifting to the northwest tomorrow afternoon. Saturday night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 34 degrees with west winds 5 to 10. And then Sunday, we're cooling back down again. Partly cloudy, highs right around 57, north winds at around 10 miles per hour. Sunday night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 25. Monday, when you head back to work and school, we'll be back into the mid-50s, 54. So enjoy today and tomorrow because we will see a cool down after that. Monday 50s, mid-50s on Tuesday of next week. Wednesday, there is now Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday night, Wednesday, we're looking at rain chances. A 20% Tuesday night, 30% Wednesday. Highs once again in the 50s there, and then 30% Wednesday night. And then we're back up into the low 60s on Thursday. So warm next 2 days, cool for a couple, and then start seeing temps back in the 60s around Thursday of next week. That looks like at least the plan for now. All right, it is 16 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break, about 2.5-minute break here, and then we'll play the interview with the folks from the Roswell Refuge on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Having trouble keeping up with the conversation? Here on Earth Hearing Center can help. Here on Earth is locally owned and operated and have been serving Southeast New Mexico since 1955. Let their experience help you with a free hearing assessment. If you do need a hearing device, they will guide you through every step of the process. They accept all types of insurance, including Medicaid, and all of their devices are made right here in the USA. Call and schedule your appointment today, 575-622-0375, or come by 2800 North Main, Suite 2, across from Target in Roswell. Here on Earth Hearing Center, get back in the conversation.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have one pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizing. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees, so that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Happy New Year! Isn't that what we usually say this time of year? But is happiness what we really need? Maybe it would be better to wish each other a joyful New Year, or a contented New Year, or peace-filled New Year, or maybe best of all, a COVID-free New Year. Joy, contentment, and peace, that's what the world really needs. We're coming off a crazy time of year when our world should be most focused on joy that comes from Jesus. But instead, we turn to a time of anything but contentment. In the book of Romans, Paul offers up this blessing in verse 13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope. Wouldn't that be a better wish for our world for a new year? From our family to yours, we wish you a joyful, contented, and peace-filled new year.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Refuge, Leslie Correau back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
And you've brought with you as well Valerie Ward. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Let's move that mic just that way they can hear you just a little bit better. Perfect. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
How is 2022 starting for you guys here?
It's starting. As I said, we had a little rough start.
Yeah, unfortunately, it sounds like you lost a family member there, and that's very unfortunate. Yeah. And so
very sad.
Prayers out to everyone there.
Absolutely. She was the shelter manager.
And this just happened recently. Is there services planned yet, or has that all happened? Or?
It hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
And we'll we'll definitely have something for her once we get everything organized. Her mother lives in Florida, so we're going to wait for her to get here. And
Gotcha. And
kind of go from there.
So,
yeah,
that's life, and this is it's you know, you're not guaranteed the next day.
That's
You're just
right.
not, and I'm just thinking in my own personal world where I've lost both of my parents, and I lost one suddenly and one over an extended period, and neither one's pleasant. But I think the sudden ones, they hit you harder, quicker, and then you kind of, whereas at least the long term, you kind of
Right,
have
you're-
a chance to at least wrap your
Process,
head around it
yeah.
and process. So sometimes these sudden losses like that, it hits hard and fast.
well, just
And-
so unexpected.
Yeah.
She actually was. I guess it happened Saturday night, and she was leaving for California on a vacation Sunday.
Oh,
So
man.
everything was packed and
So she was
there
ready
and
for a good
ready
time. Oh, man.
very just shocking when
Yeah.
it happens like sudden like that. So
Yeah.
we would definitely prayers to everybody.
Absolutely. And
Everyone she worked with, she was a big asset to our
and
organization.
I know,
Absolutely.
I'm about to say, everyone in the Roswell Refuge family are grieving this loss today. But at the same time, you're rallying together because now you have a big void to fill.
Yeah.
With, she was a valuable asset to the refuge, and the work doesn't stop.
Absolutely.
That doesn't stop. And I'm guessing you guys probably, because generally speaking, the holidays are a busy time for the refuge here, and I'm assuming 2021, 2022 holiday season wasn't any different in that regard.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
it pretty much the same. We stayed at our capacity. We're still at a 50%, maybe 60% capacity right
Okay.
now. Since the
Set
COVID has hit, of course,
NMDOH
and
regulations and all that
right,
stuff. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
We don't want to we don't want to use our rooms that share bathrooms, with two separate family members and
Absolutely.
that. So right now we're just using what we have available to place everybody in their own room, own bathroom.
Gotcha.
And
doing as best you can to keep social distanced and all
right,
that stuff. Yeah.
still following all the protocols.
Yeah.
With the new variant out, we're seeing a big rise in sickness that way. But from what we've seen so far, it at least doesn't seem to be as bad of a.
I think
hopefully
hopefully we're at a point
illness.
now where we're just worried more about getting a cold versus death or hospitalizations. The vaccines have at least, I think, brought us to that level. But and we can have debates all day about masks and all that. That's another story for another day. We the rules say we got to wear them right now, so that's what we do.
Right.
But I think and what I've been hearing with Omicron, like you're saying, is this may in the long run be a good thing because this is kind of maybe the beginning of the end of the COVID, where we're seeing
Hopefully,
the Omicron
goodness.
variants, where we're kind of like it's fizzling out a little
Right.
bit, if that makes sense.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, so that's what
That's
we're experiencing
absolutely,
here.
knock on wood.
But here's one thing I know that's a constant. Without the support and help of the community, the Roswell Refuge can't continue to help victims of domestic violence. Obviously, there's grants, there's things that funding that comes, but at the end of the day, you really couldn't do the job without people donating food, donating their time, donating donations, money, donating goods for the thrift store, the furniture, the clothing, all of that. Either if it doesn't help directly by actually providing clothing and furniture for victims of domestic violence, it provides by selling it back to the public and the community, where they make that little extra money. That money in turn goes back to programs, the light bill, whatever is needed to help the victims here. That's where that money goes. So.
Yeah, and I would like to definitely give a big thank you to all of the community that were very generous this year with contributions, money monetarily.
Good.
So we got a lot of really, really nice, generous donations in
Sure.
from a lot of members in the community.
And I'm
this year.
guessing like some of the physical labor stuff, especially if it's indoors, probably has to be put on the back burner because of COVID right now.
Right.
I mean, maybe some yard work stuff is okay, but fixing up rooms and things,
Right.
it's probably not.
And hopefully
really an
we're
option
going to be
right now.
moving forward with that. We have remodeled some rooms last year and the year before,
Mm-hmm.
and we still need to remodel 5 of our rooms.
Okay.
We had a program several years back, if you remember, where we allowed businesses or people in the community to adopt a room.
Yeah.
And
that was a fun idea.
remodel it
Yeah.
with us. And I think we are looking to kind of implement that back.
I think
Out into the community, if there's any business or any organization or even individuals that would like to do that. And then we put a plaque up outside of the room, the door, in recognition of that people, and certainly give them lots of thanks if they want it. Some people like to remain anonymous.
I think what we should do with that, and if COVID allows, and let's turn it into like an HGTV or a Trading Spaces style event.
Wouldn't that
where
be
maybe
awesome?
maybe you get two entities competing and say, all right, you got this room, you got this room.
That'd
You
be
each get a
great.
designer or whatever, and you're like, all right, design your room, and then we'll have some arbitrary judges judge the best, and some prize that goes maybe back to the refuge as a charity
that
to
would
help
be
out,
awesome.
and some bragging rights. Just have some fun with it, because we can absolutely have fun with these things, and in turn, that's going to bring light and life and enjoyment to that home.
Yeah,
and
it is.
If there's a place in this community that needs as much joy in it as possible, and it is the refuge home, because you've got families coming in, tearing their lives, separating from that life, and starting a new one there. And they come with kids in tow. Generally speaking, that's about it. The clothes on their back and the kids in tow, and that's it. And they've got to reestablish that life. So creating fun and joy in a place that's probably a rough time for these individuals is starting them on the path to recovering and becoming on the path of the life that they want.
And we've had some really good help from the community, people in the community, different organizations and businesses when we were remodeling this past year. The workers, the advocates, and Peggy, when she was with us, did a lot of painting themselves. They brought bright colors in and painted, kind of brightening the place up. And they're wonderful that they jump in and do that to make it better for everyone, and makes them feel better working there as well.
Absolutely. And to be honest, when we're talking about the donations and all that goes so far towards that. Like, you look at the Christmas holiday we just had here. The home tries to make it just like Christmas at your home, with a tree and presents for everybody, and cooking a family holiday meal, and that's what we replicate at the refuge. You want to make it a family home environment.
A little comfort, a little normalcy goes a long way. And
so Christmas, having the turkey, having the was that your phone? I was like, that was cool. I was like, oh, it's made it sound like I think it was planned. But first I was like, someone yelling over there, what's going on? But it really by folks donating pies and cakes and candies and stockings and toys for the kids, or a lot of times they'll say, hey, let's do spa day for some of the ladies there, and they'll go and get the hair done up and they get the nails painted and getting putting some invest time back into themselves, and all of that goes towards the healing process, goes towards one of the big things, and Leslie and I have talked about this. You're tearing down walls too, because victims of domestic violence by nature build the walls. They build their own self-defense so they can learn to cope in those environments. Well, you got to peel that onion off to get them healed, and so they're not going to be receptive generally. I mean, everyone's different, but generally speaking, they're not going to trust a gift horse in the mouth, so to speak. If it's too good to be true, more than likely it is, and that's the mindset they built to protect themselves.
It takes a lot. It
and
sure
so
does.
you have to peel that away a little bit. And so the thought of somebody, just complete stranger out of nowhere, saying, Merry Christmas. I hope this makes your life better. And that breaks away that wall a little bit and says, wait a minute, not everybody's like the people I've been encountering. There are people that generally love and care and want the best for everybody. I need to be more like those people. And so you're leading by example by there. You're really literally showing people how to love again.
Right.
And that's so much more powerful than sometimes even just the cupcake or whatever you're bringing.
Absolutely.
It's that message of, oh my God, there is humanity. People do care about
And
me.
as individuals heal, so will the community itself.
Absolutely. Yeah. So trust me, what you're doing is a godsend by helping out and doing that stuff. It much more than you think. So by the simple act of you just going to the store and buying a bunch of family-size shampoos and toothpaste or towels or any of that stuff and just dropping off at it's much more than that $10, $15, $20 you just spent on beauty products.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is a life you're saving right there.
It is. And we're just so grateful for everything. A big shout out every year to Target. They just do such a wonderful job every year of donating full gift bags to us to make sure everybody has gifts. I think the Roswell Women's Club donated items again this year, which they do every year too. And I'm sure I'm forgetting others, but to everybody that has, it's so appreciated, and it does help us keep running. We couldn't do it without the community,
Absolutely.
like we say all the time, and
Absolutely,
and that is a very true statement.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of this kind of stuff, the thrift store, is it open and regular, or is there some restrictions on that because
the
of
thrift
COVID?
store's open Monday through Friday, back to the regular hours that we've been running, 9 to 2.
Okay.
We are taking donations, no clothing donations at the moment.
Okay.
But we are taking household item donations.
So if you got furniture or
anything like
small
that.
appliances, things like that.
Pots, pans.
Yeah. And all that stuff's
anything
super
like that.
helpful.
Absolutely.
Yes, and probably by February, I'd say we'll be ready to start taking some clothing donations.
Okay.
We got really inundated with a lot.
Okay.
But also then when COVID has come into play, it's just, we feel a little bit safer to kind of not take that.
Things that are good at
clothes like
transmitting
that,
germs and stuff easily.
But
and
we'll
stuffed toys and
definitely-
clothing are generally things that do that.
Right.
So.
So pretty soon that it'll be back to as normal as we'll get back to, I guess.
Good. Well, and trust me, and the thrift store and how this works, I kind of did earlier, but in case you missed that, when you donate items to the thrift store there, things like microwaves and pots and pans and cooking utensils and all the things that you have in your house, basically, toasters, ovens, and toasters and all that, coffee pots, all that stuff. When the folks that kind of have done their time and they're ready to move on to their own place or wherever they're going to go next, again, like I said, they come in without the things on their back. So you guys help them by saying, all right, you're free now. Good luck to you. That's not how it works.
Right.
They help set you up on whatever you want to do next, whether it's pursue a career or go back to school or go to a different family, whatever that transition to next is. You guys help them by saying, all right, well, you're going to need some furniture. You're going to need some clothing. You're going to need toiletries, some bedding.
Yep.
These things go with you to wherever your apartment is or wherever you're going to next. Now, that way, you're not going to an empty room. You've got a bed to sleep in. You've got a pair of pants to change into. You got a coffee pot and a microwave to cook a meal in. You have something. So when you donate those items, first off, if there's residents that are ready to move out, they get to, in essence, go on a little shopping spree. Like, do you need a new coffee pot? Do you need a hair dryer? Do you need, what are these things you need? Let's see what we can get here. And it's free of charge. It's theirs for them to use.
Always free, absolutely. For
now,
all of our
and then
clients.
vice versa, you help other organizations. Like if other organizations have like some homeless folks or something, hey, you let them come over and need help, or vice versa. Hey, they got clothing or something, our folks can go over there and get some help
we work
too.
really closely with the Homeless Coalition and CYFD.
Yeah, and then
for, whatever they need. As
absolutely.
Well.
And then after all of that, if there's like, oh, we still got these beds, now you, the public, can come and say, oh man, I can get that bed for pennies on the dollar here. I'll take that. You pay cash for it, walk out with a great bed, and that cash goes back to help these victims in various ways. Oh, we need to go buy food, or we need to pay the light bill, or pay the light bill, or whatever it is. That's what we're going to do.
All the money that is spent in the thrift store stays right there with the refuge.
So,
and
so if you're donating there, you're really helping people right here locally.
And if people feel very strongly about they want to donate specifically just to the shelter itself and not have us sell their items,
sure,
we certainly
those arrangements
appreciate
can be
that
made.
and do that as well. I mean,
absolutely,
that's a personal choice, and we do have quite a few people that
want to make sure that it goes to someone.
They donate a lot of women's clothing. They want to be used strictly for the shelter, and that's fine.
Another thing I want to kind of, that's part of the Roswell Refuge umbrella, so to speak, here, as far as helping people and things like that. Like, we're talking about all the domestic violence victims here, which they do amazing things, but they also partner with the same program, and these are individuals that help victims of sexual assault.
Yes.
They medically and emotionally, whatever it is, they help them with that. It's basically if someone is a victim of sexual assault, these are the folks that come in and make sure they're okay medically. If the person would like to press charges and pursue that, they will collect the evidence needed to prosecute.
And appear in court in many cases.
Yes.
Kim Hansen, who runs the same program here, is amazing, number one. but is definitely an expert
Yeah.
and is called
Yeah,
at the state level and I believe
people
even the
and
national level to speak. And
her
she's
and people
very
like
knowledgeable.
her are so appreciated in this community because they do a job that, let's face it, they got to have their mental game on right because they see and hear a lot of bad things. And
We
and when
say
you,
that all the time.
And when you get surrounded
God
with it,
bless her, because we could never do what she does, and in the way she does it, she's just amazing, and her team,
absolutely,
all of her team.
But it's just human nature. If you're constantly berated with bad things, that's gonna warp your brain a little bit. And for her to be able to keep helping people and to see the darkest of people and bring light out of that is such a blessing that we have someone like that. So her and her staff and people who help her,
they're wonderful.
So by supporting the refuge things, you're also supporting the same program too. And also you work with the offenders as well. That's the other side I want to, I mean, we do live in an age where everyone wants to be a victim and you kind of, all right, there's some debate there. But most of the time, an abuser is a victim themselves, in which domestic violence is very much a cycle. It's learned behavior. People that are abusers, odds are pretty good they were abused themselves
or witnessed it or lived through it in some way.
And so that's the only tools they got in the tool belt. And not that so not that I'm justifying what they do, because that's not what we're here. But if you don't know any better and someone's saying you're doing it wrong and you're like, well, I want to do it right, but I don't know what the heck I'm doing here, you gotta
You
help
have to
that.
have the tools. You need the training.
And you don't even know a lot of times, especially if it isn't physical abuse.
Yeah.
The person doesn't even have a clue that what they're doing is actually
They don't realize it. It's like, well, I
abuse.
I was raised that way and I turned out fine.
Right.
Therefore, it's good for, you know what I mean? There's
And
that
we
ideology.
see that a lot, and I really I believe so much in our offender program. It's such a good program. It offers so many tools and learning lessons and guidelines. And if you really come in with an open mind, I mean, 99% of the people that have to come are ordered through the courts.
It's their last chance before they're going to see
they're
serious
pretty
time.
angry. They definitely all say they don't
Defensive.
belong there.
Yeah.
And
Which
if they
again is a
really-
natural human response.
And if they work the program, we just see it so many times. We'll hear that from so many people after they get a little bit into it. Like, I really didn't even know that was abuse.
Sure.
The
walls come down.
The calling names or the being ugly.
Honestly, I've sat in on that program a few times. And the time period was sprawled out a little bit, and I could see the growth.
Sure, see the difference in the people.
clients.
So like you saw them
Absolutely.
at like an earlier meeting, and they're very defensive. You see them a couple months
I
later,
saw
and you're like,
some
oh wow,
absolute growth.
they've made headway.
And I believe
yeah.
that's the key to prevention, and that can.
What?
You have to work both
prevention
sides
is
of
the
it.
key.
And we as human beings, if you're not growing every day, you're really not doing humankind a service here. We all should be bettering ourselves every day. And in little, I mean, no, we don't have to do earth shattering every day, but these are people that, and you know what? They're probably going to be huge advocates for against domestic violence when it's all said and done,
Right.
because
we have some really, really big successful
they wear
people
the
that
shoes.
have come out of our program, and
both shoes. They wore the abuser shoes. They wore the abusee shoes, and they have a unique perspective there sometimes. So they can really be the ones that maybe break open the issues in domestic violence.
And we really welcome somebody that's gone through the program and that has stayed out of that, that cycle and has actually broken it after a couple of years to come back and even work with us and
As an advocate,
become a facilitator for the program.
they're
going to
be the strongest fighters for it.
Absolutely.
Now, excellent example of you don't have to remain in the same situation day after day. You
Absolutely.
have opportunities to change.
And there's always a big controversy, really, at the state level and federal level about just two different mindsets where, there's a big push towards thinking that the domestic violence offender programs don't work. And they try to cut funding every year. And
How could
the
it not?
funding for it is so much less than the funding for the victim side that we struggle really to keep those programs going.
To me, that's how you fix it.
Well, that's all of our
long-term
process too.
Because
but-
otherwise, you're just putting Band-Aids on the problem for
Right.
the rest of your
Right.
life. If you don't do something about it now, you're going to continue. Now, I got to be honest. If you want a chance of ever having to shut the refuge down because it's not needed anymore, that's where you're going to have to fix is that offender
and it's
program.
really
Is that-
frustrating every year when that comes up, in the legislation. And I have to say we have some very good lobbyists and advocates and legislators that fight for that every year. But it goes all the way up to the federal level, of well, we really don't think that those programs work and offender programs work. Well, of course they work. They work if the person works them. And,
well,
it might take a couple of times. We certainly have people that come through our program more than once.
Yeah. What it needs to do, and it's kind of, I say the same thing for mental health. Domestic violence and mental health need to do the same thing. They need to, in essence, turn it into the Susan G. Komen breast cancer awareness type level of funding.
Absolutely.
Where, I mean, breast cancer awareness, that's a great thing and all that, but mental health and domestic violence both need to get that kind of treatment. Let's do the runs, the walks, raising bazillions of dollars each year for it.
The awareness.
Yeah, because I personally think if we could crack that nut in mental health, we're going to see a lot of other problems just not be problems
mental
anymore,
health and drug addiction and mental health certainly go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
And
I would even argue gun violence,
all the
domestic violence, all the things we're looking at our world is like, what a kind of awful world we live in. Yeah. I think with some mental health and throwing that kind of money into it, guess what? A lot of those problems, remember, that was the thing. Now we understand what we're doing now and know how
our
to
mental
do it.
health here in Roswell especially is just so limited. We just don't have the
resources
the
funding.
The funding, the doctors, the counselors. We just don't have that many, and we have no facilities that I know. I don't think we have any facility left, like an live-in facility for mental health at this time that I know of.
They have the rehab and other stuff, but nothing. Everything's all.
And it sure does all go hand in hand. We're hoping maybe this year, if not by next year, to get some extra funding to be able to actually find an on-site counselor that we would be able to have on staff, at least part-time. And I think that would help. That would just be such a big blessing.
Yeah, and I mean, our legislators and things sure, I love parks and things as much as the next person, but do we really need another park, or should we take that money and let's big time invest in our mental health and our domestic, invest in these things, and let's see if we can actually make dents in them, and then we'll worry about the parks.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
And we go every year to Santa Fe for legislative sessions as a group, as a coalition against domestic violence, and pretty strong people are part of that have some strong voices up there.
Good
so
deal. Well, hopefully headway's
being
made, and we might have to do a kicking and screaming, and maybe, just maybe, that's our blessing in disguise is COVID and all this stuff is raising the awareness for, hey, we're handling this poorly. Maybe we need to look at ourselves and see what we're doing here and fix it.
Yeah.
Because, we're seeing the best in humanity, but we're also seeing the worst in humanity, all this. I know we do see a lot of positive stories in the news about families coming together, and that's
I think
awesome.
it has brought people together and a bigger awareness with, so many people have lost so many family members, and I think that's helped, people just become a little bit more compassionate maybe and aware, and, hopefully we'll continue moving forward in that. And like I said, our community here is very good to us and generous. We appreciate that. Fundraising is a huge part of our thing as well. So we haven't been able to have our big fundraisers the last 2 years.
The Sane Dance has been kind of on hiatus.
The 70s dance. We hopefully, if we can, in April, if it looks like we can do that, we're gonna have a fun fundraiser coming up where we're gonna sell some raffle tickets.
Unpack the bell bottoms here and get them handy for the spring, maybe.
It's gonna be put together pretty quickly though. Once we decide come March if we're gonna be able to have it in April.
Well, let us know.
We'll throw it together. But
as soon as you know one way or another, let us know. We'll get the word out.
And I think somebody's donated a cow to us.
A cow?
A cow to process. So we're gonna do a raffle.
I was like, it's a pet?
A pet cow. That's what Valerie said. She goes, like a real cow. So
you got a side of beef.
Yes. So we'll get. I was gonna get with the person today that I think is donating that to us.
That's great. Then
we'll start selling raffle tickets out in the community. And
seen the price of beef at the stores right now? I'll take a side of beef.
And we pay for the processing.
Good deal.
Of it
So all you gotta do is
wins.
have the freezer space to put it in.
Yeah, or split it with somebody,
or get some friends. Yeah.
But those seem to do well. We haven't done one of those in about 5 years now.
Good.
So so
that'll be a raffle and then you can kind of.
Hopefully we'll get raffle tickets out.
Good. That's something you can do in
the
COVID.
community and start selling them. And
good deal.
I'll probably know about that in a week or so.
And of course, like we said, with the fact that these fundraising events can happen now more than ever, your generosity is much needed and much wanted. So don't stop cutting those checks and bringing them to the refuge, or don't stop swinging by the grocery store and picking up extra goods, or going and picking up. And if you like to donate, like health and beauty products, think family size items. The travel stuff's great, but it doesn't help the refuge as much. So grab those family size shampoo bottles and soap dispense, body washes and whatnot, things like that. Linens are always in demand. Towels, bedding, underwear, pajamas, that kind of stuff's always in demand. And when you think of foods too, like they're kind of weird on donations and things. Like they can't go out and purchase like candy and stuff. You can buy some ingredients, like they can't buy a cake, but they can buy the flour.
We're kind of
and
restricted through our funding on certain food products
so
we can buy.
So if you'd like to but they can accept them as donations. So if you're like, okay, I know you can't go out and buy a bunch of M&Ms or something, but the world's a better place with M&Ms.
Right.
Here's 70 family-sized bags of M&Ms. You know what I mean?
And always canned goods.
Yeah.
We can always use canned goods, non-perishables, things like that.
And then when it comes to the perishable stuff, call ahead, because I know you guys have the commercial kitchen and freezer space. So depending, as long as it's been professionally processed and things, you guys can handle some of that. But that's a case-by-case call ahead and talk to the staff there about that.
Right.
Okay.
But, we're definitely, I think one thing that I did hear we're in a little bit of need of is some laundry detergent and laundry soap. So,
is there a preference, like the powders, liquids, or any?
With our new washers, I don't think that the powders are very good. We used to get really large, generous donations of boxes and boxes of powder, but since we've gone to the new washers, it's kind of recommended to use liquid.
So either that or those the little drop-in tabs, or the pot. Don't eat them, but put them in your one.
Don't let your kids eat the pods either.
Yeah, that's another point. Like, are we living in a society you got to tell people not to eat
the laundry detergent?
I mean, I get it, but at some point, you're like, all right, if we got to tell you, maybe you got bigger fish to fry here. It's. I saw a story yesterday. I don't want to share because I'm just looking sensitive when I do it. But there was a story on the news yesterday. And I was like, really? We got to tell people not to do that? Come on. But anyway.
It's a little surprising sometimes.
It is.
Things you have to post on walls not to do, or what. I'm like, that shouldn't even be a thing.
Yeah, it is. Welcome to 2022.
Yeah, absolutely.
One more thing before we go, I want to ask and have you do is. Of course, if you are a victim or if you suspect something's going on, the Roswell Refuge has a 24/7 hotline for you to call, day, night, Christmas, 2 a.m, 2 a.m. It doesn't matter. 24/7, someone will answer this phone. And this is for anyone that wants to talk. If you are a victim and you're going through something and you just need an ear to bend, it's there for you. If you're ready to break away from the situation you're currently in, they'll help you do that. But if you just want to talk, there's no obligations, no anonymity. All of that is part of this. It's just a resource for you. And likewise, if you're thinking, all right, I'm seeing something going on, I'm not really sure what to do about it, I have questions, call this hotline, they'll give you advice. But the worst thing you can do if you suspect something is to do nothing. I know people see something that's like, well, it's not my business, and and I get that. I understand people, but when it comes to suspicion of domestic violence, that's not an excuse anymore. That's if you think something's not right there, go with your gut and do something about it. Report it to somebody. Talk to someone. Like you said, if you don't know what to do, this is what this hotline's for.
Right.
Call it. Say, hey, what's the proper channels here? How do I handle this? Yeah. And they'll talk to you step by step on what you need to do.
Yeah. And anybody that is looking to come into shelter, I think has maybe a thought of how secure is it? How safe will I be? And it's extremely safe.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is confidential. We are not we are protected federally against even having to tell police, court, anything, who's in shelter and who isn't.
You are a protector for these victims.
Nobody can come up to the window or call and say, is so-and-so there? It just absolutely wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
If it happens, somebody will be fired. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
That we take confidentiality.
Yeah, that is job one.
Number one of our job.
Your safety and security is priority one.
That is absolutely number one.
If you're looking for a place safe because you're fearing for your life, the refuge is in fact that safe place. So use it there. And then but give out, what's that number for that hotline?
575-627-8361.
And again, that's available to you 24/7. Anytime you want to call.
Every day of the year.
Every day of the year, that someone will answer that phone and help you. Now, if you've got business with the refuge, you're like, hey, I heard you on the radio. I'd like to donate some soap. How do I do that? Don't call that number. Call the office number instead, which is the number Leslie's got here.
And it's 575-624-3222.
Yeah,
And
call
our
that.
administrative offices are at 1215 North Garden. That's also where the offender program is located, as
Okay.
well as if you need to do a restraining order on somebody.
Okay. Any of the legal
you
stuff.
come to that location, and our thrift store is there as well.
They're on site
So,
as well too. So if you want to do a little shopping or
Yeah.
now, if like I said, if it's big items, please call ahead and make
Yes,
arrangements.
because we don't always have room.
Is Kay still running the show
She
over there?
is.
So Kay's very meticulous about what to have, and she's a good steward of all that
Right.
stuff. But she can only make so much lemonade out of lemons here. So
Yeah.
if it's like a big bed or something that really is
we
going to take
try
all
to
the
take
space.
everything we can,
Yeah.
absolutely,
But
for
what,
sure. But
what might happen is like we would love the bed, but can you hold it a couple weeks till we have a little more space?
and
or
we
something like
don't
that?
have a way to pick items up. That we get calls a lot on that.
Yeah.
I've got all this stuff. Can you pick it up? And unfortunately, we don't have any way to pick things up. But if you can bring it to us or get it to us, we'll make room and we'll find something.
Or maybe
way
there's
we can
someone
use it.
listening and you're thinking, I'd like a way to give back in the community. Volunteer. Say, hey, I'll be, you got people that need stuff picked up, call me and I'll go get it for
Yeah.
them. If you've got the wherewithal to do
that'd
that
be
and would love
great.
to help, that'd be a huge asset to the Roswell Refuge. And that's something
wonderful.
simple. You're thinking, well, how do I get involved? I'm not good at, fine. Can you you have a pickup truck, you can drive it, go pick up some furniture and
Yeah.
drop it off for them and you just saved a life. And that's what we're talking about here. It's
That'd be wonderful.
Many hands, little work. That's
No generosity is too small of an effort.
absolutely.
That
That's
for
what I'm
sure.
saying, and that's why it doesn't go unnoticed or underappreciated. So your random acts of kindness, no matter how small, are always a good thing and always appreciated. So keep doing that, because the more people that do that, the less bad stuff that happens.
Yeah, that is.
Kill them with kindness. You ever heard that saying? That's exactly
right.
what you do.
And
is-
even gift cards, to Walmart, Target, anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody drops off gift cards, we make sure we go give those directly straight to our clients in shelter. And
Yeah.
that helps them a lot too. That way, they're able to get what they really need. And
Absolutely.
so, anything, will take $1.
Absolutely.
We're good.
And every little bit helps.
It does.
Well, thank you, ladies.
All
Appreciate
right,
the
thank
visit.
you
Is
so
there
much.
anything we missed that we wanted to cover? Did we get it all?
So I
Okay.
think we did everything.
Good deal. We'll see you here next month, and then of course, as we finalize plans for spring and dancing and stuff, let us know, and we'll get
I
the
will
word out
definitely
there.
do that and give you a little buzz when I know about the raffle for the cow. And
Very good. And folks, and like I said, if you need help, call that number. Reach
Absolutely.
out. It's there to help you. For many people, and for folks that don't understand why victims are victims, please just understand that you don't know what you're talking about, and just kind of let it because that's part of what the problem with domestic violence. Why don't you just leave if it's you don't get it? It's a
Well,
control thing. It's a
right.
whole and they're really breaking away from their life. They're not breaking away from an abuser. They're breaking away from their entire life.
Well, and
And-
it's something that certainly happens over a progressive time. It's not one day this has happened and
Yeah.
the next day that's happened.
Exactly.
I mean, that just doesn't happen that way.
And
And for everybody can please follow us on Facebook too and like our page.
Absolutely.
We put a lot of information out there. We
It's-
try to. And
it's under Roswell Refuge.
It's just Roswell Refuge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
And let's put them out of a job. I want to put you out of a job.
I would love to be out of a job. I would love to be out of a job. Absolutely.
I hope you get paid or not, but this job you don't need anymore.
Yeah.
So, thank you, ladies.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much.
Thank you for having us.
Happy New Year,
Happy
and
New
and we'll
Year.
see you next time. Okay.
Alrighty.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Take care. It is 9:55.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The New Mexico Department of Health announcing this week it's implementing revised federal guidance surrounding isolation and quarantine for COVID-19 effective immediately for anyone who tests positive for COVID, regardless of their vaccine status. You do need to stay home for 5 days, isolate and quarantine. You do not need to get an additional PCR test if you've had a positive at-home rapid test. If you have no symptoms after the 5 days, you can leave your home, but you are strongly urged to continue to wear a mask for 5 more days. If you have a fever, stay home until the fever is gone for at least 24 hours. To prevent the spread of COVID, tell anyone you have recently had close contact with and encourage them to get tested, monitor for symptoms, and reduce exposure to all other people. Of course, you can view all of the guidelines on the New Mexico Department of Health website. You're up to date. That's local news headlines. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Today, the mother of all conspiracy theories. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. A startup microchip company called Disruptive Subdermals has developed a tiny microchip that's implanted just under the skin on the top of your hand. The chip is pre-programmed to hold all the details of your COVID vaccine history, a kind of electronic COVID passport of sorts. The company also manufactures low-cost handheld scanners for business, public places, and anywhere that requires you to be vaccinated. And there's more. The company's working on a similar chip that measures your body to detect fever. Now, this story in and of itself is not a conspiracy theory. It's real. But when you combine it with the biblical stories of the mark of the beast, or any of that, you indeed have the mother of all conspiracy theories. If you'd like to read more, just Google the company. It's called Disruptive Subdermals. Its CEO says that the chip is coming, and nothing is able to stop it. Get more breaking tech news at Commando.com. If you've ever wanted to make your home feel safer, there's no better time than now. Right now, my friends at Simply Safe are giving my listeners access to their New Year's holiday deals. 20% off their award-winning home security, and your first month is free when you sign up for interactive monitoring. I love Simply Safe because it has everything you need to make your home safe. Indoor and outdoor cameras, comprehensive sensors, all monitored around the clock by trained professionals who send help the instant you need it. Simply Safe was even named the best home security system of 2021 by U.S. News & World Report. Customize the system for your home online in minutes and get free custom recommendations. Plus, no long-term contracts or commitments, but you have to hurry. Take 20% off your Simply Safe system, and your first month is free when you sign up for the interactive monitoring service. Visit simplysafekim.com. Again, that's simplysafekim.com for 20% off your system. simplysafekim.com.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Last we heard from the Goddard Rockets girls basketball team. The Rockets were winning their own tournament over the holidays. Now Goddard 7-5 will be playing its first game of the new year at home against Chaparral. That's at 2:30 on Saturday. Roswell High's got the Friday and Saturday off, but they'll be back in action Monday night against Las Cruces. That's at home against the Bulldogs. Now, as far as boys basketball is concerned, the Goddard boys are in Ruidoso for the Ruidoso Mountain Madness tournament against Taos, which is 9-3 tonight at 6:30, and then against Santa Fe Prep tomorrow at 3:30. The Roswell boys will be playing at Chaparral tonight at 7 o'clock. Could be a victory. Chaparral's only won one this season. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Drive into a year that's new with a vehicle that's new, or new to you from your friends at the Tailgate Nation. Roswell Ford's inventory of pre-owned vehicles is bigger than it's ever been, the biggest in southeastern New Mexico. More than 140 excellent vehicles on the lot, just about every make and model of truck, including the popular Ford Super Duty. Plenty of SUVs, too, as well as luxury cars and sporty cars. Something for every family at every budget. All carefully inspected and fairly priced. And all come with a 3-day money-back guarantee so you can buy without being shy. If you have a really nice vehicle, Roswell Ford wants to buy it. We'll appraise it in about 20 minutes, then make you an offer that's better than other places. And Roswell Ford is now taking orders in person and online for the new Ford trucks and SUVs that will be arriving soon. So get your new year started right with a vehicle that's right from Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, corner of 9th and Main.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie Psycho. Mike thought it was Gone with the Wind. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 8 o'clock. Stay tuned next hour. We're going to chit-chat. Next couple, we get to have some fun and talk about, well, whatever pops on our heads here. So we'll do that next hour. Town Hall News is coming up next, and we'll be back on the other side of Town Hall News. Don't forget also, by about United Blood Services. They got blood drive next Friday for folks in Roswell here. I'll give you the number on the other side. Town Hall News up next.
Your home for Armed American Radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. U.S. employers added a modest 199,000 jobs last month, while the unemployment rate fell at a time when businesses are struggling to fill jobs, with many Americans remaining reluctant to return to the workforce. The Labor Department says the nation's unemployment rate fell to 3.9% from 4.2% in November. The Supreme Court is considering two major Biden administration efforts to increase the nation's vaccination rate against COVID-19.
The justices are hearing arguments about whether to allow the administration to enforce a vaccine or testing requirement that applies to large employers and a separate vaccine mandate for most healthcare workers. Legal challenges to the policies from Republican-led states and business groups are in their early stages, but the outcome at the High Court will probably determine the fate of vaccine requirements affecting more than 80 million people. Opponents say the vaccine rules will exacerbate labor shortages and be costly to businesses. Mike Hemp in Washington.
A growing number of U.S. school districts are moving back to online classes because of the winter surge in COVID-19 cases. In Detroit, the shift involves 50,000 students. The Institute for Supply Management's monthly survey shows service industries grew for a 19th straight month in December, though there were indications of strain.
ISM's inventories index contracted for the 7th straight month, still affected by supply logjams, along with strong demand. Meanwhile, prices paid for materials and services rose to a reading of 82.5, the third highest ever.
That's correspondent Ben Thomas reporting. On Wall Street, the Dow is off 18 points. The Nasdaq, meanwhile, is ahead by nearly 54. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Cultural Marxism is spreading like wildfire in America. It shows up in everything from critical race theory to the LGBT movement to cancel culture. But did you know that this so-called woke ideology is also flooding into the church?
Decide not to be content with merely being a non-racist. Will you decide to make the shift to anti-racism?
The brand new documentary, How the Left is Stealing Your Church, exposes the infiltration of Bible-believing churches and denominations by an anti-God, anti-gospel agenda. From George Soros giving money to Campus Crusade to the Southern Baptist Convention's recent flirtation with critical race theory, you will discover how this false ideology is being smuggled into the evangelical church and how the left is stealing your church. Stream it now for $9.99 or get the DVD for $12.99. Watch on your phone, tablet, or TV. Go to salemnow.com or look for the Salem Now app.
South Korea has questioned North Korea's claims to have successfully launched a hypersonic missile earlier this week.
North Korea says its missile launch on as planned, with the missile precisely hitting its target. South Korea's defense ministry says it's exaggerating its progress. It found the missile had traveled a shorter distance and demonstrated less maneuverability than indicated by the North. Military analysts in the U.S. agree that the North Korean missile reached a hypersonic speed, but they say that capability is shared by other ballistic missiles and does not imply a significant new gain.
That's BBC correspondent Celia Hatton reporting. Two parents charged with their son in a fatal Michigan school shooting are returning to court to ask for a lower bail to get out of jail. James and Jennifer Crumley have been locked up since December 4th, unable to meet a $500,000 bond. News and analysis at townhall.com. Inflation has surged in the 19 countries using the euro as COVID-19 infection rates stay high in the zone.
Figures show consumer prices in the euro currency nations have soared at a record rate, led by hikes in food and energy costs. According to Eurostat, the EU's statistics office, inflation rose to 5% in December, compared with a year earlier, the highest level in the Eurozone since record-keeping began in 1997.
That's correspondent Charles de Ledesma reporting. And nations across Europe are scrambling to prop up health systems strained by staff shortages. blamed on the new highly transmissible Omicron variant of the coronavirus. Troops have been deployed to London hospitals. Healthcare workers infected with COVID-19 are treating patients in France. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday, everybody.
Dude, it's like my head wasn't ready to accept that it was Friday. I went on the other radio station and then just said Thursday. I don't know what. Like in my head, it's just not ready to wrap around. This has been...
That's a good kind of wrong in some ways.
It is. It's the best kind of wrong. This has been the longest week of my entire life. I've been awash in children for the entirety of this week.
You have.
Which I know, I understand. I have no cause for complaint. I brought them into this world, so it's my responsibility. I understand that.
Sure.
That having been said, oh no.
Well, typically in parenting, there's other people helping.
Yeah. Sitters and
they go to school. Things like, all of that's out the window for you this week. So you literally have had your children 24/7.
Right. And they reach that age where eventually the big one can watch the little one.
Yeah.
We're not there yet.
You're not there.
We're not there.
The big one's watching the two little ones, and the big one's Sean.
Yeah. Exactly. The big kid. But we've been making the most of it. I mean, it's the kids are happy. We're having fun.
Yeah.
I'm not. I complain, but
you'll look back on it fondly later.
You know what? I literally had that thought this morning. I'm like, it's been hell week, but I've had the kids close. I've been able to snuggle with them a little more.
And then when the kids are older, like maybe teenagers, you're all sitting around. Some other time you lose power or something, you have to stare at each other in a room. You're like, remember that time we had to hang out with Dad at work all week and all that, and we were. That was fun.
When they're rolling their eyes because they're stuck with me, I'm going to harken back to when they enjoyed their time with me.
But here's where you'll get your payback. They will grow. They will become adults. And then you get to be the diaper toting dude and let them take care of you.
Yep.
God bless you.
Oh, yeah. It's all cyclical. It's all cyclical. That's right.
Yeah, there will come a time.
I plan for incontinence earlier than most. All right?
He's like, when you heard it hit 18. All right, that's about the time it'll start.
I'm going to get my fill. All right?
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. I shouldn't. There's certain things I probably shouldn't say on the radio
probably,
for their
probably, but is that a stop
for the sake of their embarrassment? Not at all. I'm their dad. Of course, they're going to be embarrassed. No, but because of certain issues with potty training with the first and then the second, I have legitimately changed a diaper a day, almost every day for 8 years.
Wow,
almost every day.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Should get a card or something.
Right? Right? Free sandwich, a
something,
watch,
like a discount card or something. It's like, Or at least like a diaper discount card.
Well, in fairness, a pull-up, I should say pull-ups. But yeah, because Hunter's is like on the verge. He's almost there. But
he's almost there.
Yep. Boy, I can't wait till that day happens. It'll be like the last for actually, hopefully forever.
So is he like at an age where sometimes he makes it, sometimes he doesn't? Is that kind of where you're at now? Cool.
Yeah, so these are just like accident stoppers, basically.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously your daughter, she's full on good to go with the occasional oopsie every once in a blue moon.
Even then, not really. Like she's real good about if we're on the road or whatever, you need to hold it. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she's real good.
Okay, good.
Solid.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. Once she got it, she got it.
You haven't had to invest in portable peeing devices for the road?
No, but I want to. Like, the more I've seen like the devices you can hook to like the trailer hitch of your car.
Yeah.
I want one.
You know what? Like I've seen the little Johnny on the spots and things you can buy on Amazon or wherever you see them at. And I love the concept of it, but the actual act of being in my own vehicle
on I-40 or whatever, pulled off to the side of the road.
Or while driving, just like literally, one hand on the wheel, the other on the product.
Honey, pull over. Daddy's got to make. Well, okay.
And then, what's the move? Like if you're in a car full of people, do we keep going here?
Here's the thing.
Do we stop? And if I'm going to stop, I might as well stop at a place with a toilet.
If you know that you have to deuce it, go to a
I wouldn't
rest
even
stop.
go in
to a
that
gas
area.
station.
Yeah.
No, okay. Now, come on.
I was thinking number one.
If we're talking about onesies, the open road is my bathroom.
I understand that.
You could always pull the move that my dad used to do, which was when Mom had to go.
Yeah.
It was actually really funny because what you can do is you open both the passenger side doors, thusly creating a stall and also a post for Mom to grab onto while she squats in team latrines.
That's just classy.
Real classy, right? But he made her a stall.
That's right.
He gave her a stall. Never mind that we were like inside watching all the business happening. Right. He gave her a stall.
Would it would have been really funny, like you push a button and like a toilet paper dispenser falls out one of the doors, and then like a little Febreze thing,
dude,
spritzer kind of comes out.
This is sort of off topic, but it just reminded me. I had to dip into my novelty toilet paper this week.
Did you?
Because
you had no regular toilet paper?
I forgot to go to the toilet.
The funny part is you have a collection of novelty toilet paper.
It's not a collection. It's not because Christmas just happened. I have a few rolls of, or 2 or 3 rolls of, silly toilet paper.
Okay.
They're a little smaller, not nearly as soft.
Right.
They say like, this year I got this instead of coal or something like that.
Okay.
So it's like
it's like a white elephant gift.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
I had to dip into my novelty toilet paper.
Well, would you like to borrow my Bob Ross day calendar?
No,
if need be. Because in a pinch.
Yeah, I feel like that's not the right ply.
It's a thicker ply.
It really is.
But it's a glossy finish.
That's the thing. It's not going to.
So it might be a little slippery.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me
turn off the windshield wipers. You're not helping. You're just making it worse.
Yeah. Today's the 7th, right?
Yes. I believe it's probably just a painting.
Our painting for today. It's a nice creek scene.
So what's it called?
It doesn't say.
It didn't say at the bottom?
Just says Bob Ross 2022, Friday, January 7th.
Check on the back. I bet it's on the back. Because, almost all his paintings have like some kind of...
Nah, they're doing us dirty. They're not telling us the story.
This is what happens when you work for public television.
Yeah.
All your paintings are just painting number 3.
If this was from the real Bob Ross family, I bet they'd label these paintings. But, since it's from the fake one. Let's see. Maybe there's some... a bibliography or something in the back of this
index, a calendar index,
some kind of reference point. There's point for notes. Lots of notes.
After looking at all these inspirational pictures, I feel like I should take notes on my calendar.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. It's almost ineffective as a calendar too, because where are you going to write like dentist appointment 2 p.m. on that?
See, now April 23rd and 24th has a saying on it.
Oh.
Let's put a few little highlights in here to make them little rascals just sparkle in the sun.
Bob Ross quotes with no context. They are kind of fantastic.
They're amazing.
Little rascals sparkle in the sun.
Yeah. I want to know who his hairdresser was. Because I hate to spoil that party. Mm-hmm. He got perms. That's not au natural.
That's true. Dude, I don't know what that hair. The hairstyle reminded me of Betty White.
I watched your blooper clip.
Yeah,
it's like 10 minutes. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
So good.
Yeah, it's all from her time in Hot in Cleveland.
All the time from Hot in Cleveland.
Yeah,
because I went looking for other like her time on Community. I was trying to find some bloopers from that, and she's got tons of great ones.
Yeah,
but I went down a wormhole last night. I ended up watching. If you look up, because she for a long time was like the go-to on Craig Ferguson.
Okay.
So she was like the go-to guest, and they're back and forth. I mean, it's so good. For like an hour, I sat watching just her doing different characters. Like she was the spokesperson for I can't even remember what it was. She was a spokesperson for something, but she came out and she was just like full blown gung ho. I think it was like Facebook or Apple or something. But just her timing was flawless.
Well, she was like that her whole career.
Mm-hmm.
Like prior to Golden Girls and all that, she was a late night television icon as far as being guests on shows and having her own show at one point. In an earlier time, and so she can easily walk amongst that late night crowd and turn them on their heels and walk out the door. She's been doing that long before Golden Girls and all the things that most people know her for now,
Yeah, but I went down this wormhole and it led to a clip, and I didn't know this was even a thing.
Yeah.
But Lucille Ball, like one of the last things that she did in the 80s, she was on Super Password with Betty White. And so it's literally a clip of
wow.
It's hang on, I'm trying to remember who else was on there because everybody's dead.
Rip Taylor.
No, I have my phone. I don't have my phone on me either. It was what's the woman who has the what's the woman who has the really Carol Channing.
Carol
Channing, Lucille Ball, Betty White, and then it was who was the guy?
Zsa Zsa Gabor?
No, it was a guy. I don't have my phone. I can't. But it was just really like off putting. It's like every
Charles Nelson Riley.
No, it wasn't one
Jim
of
J. Bullock.
Keep throwing them out there. You're not gonna land on it. I literally
Fred Willard.
I don't know why I went to Gavin McLeod. No, it was I can't remember, but it was a Super Password just clip, and things had gone off the rails or whatever. But just to see Lucille Ball, Carol Channing, and Betty White all on that same stage was just very, very odd.
It's quite the. Mm-hmm. I would like to see a Charlie's Angels with that.
Right?
Like they reboot a Charlie's Angels, and there's your Charlie's Angels.
It's gonna drive me nuts until I go find out who it was.
Harvey Korman.
Stop saying names.
I'm just trying to think of every name from that time period. Who else would be in there? I'm trying to think of like Hollywood Squares-esque people that were Don Rickles.
Chris is doing it too. Ted Knight. No, it's not. It's not any of those. I'm looking at my YouTube history. Hold on.
Oh, man.
Let's see.
Now I'm curious. Now we can't continue until we know this answer.
Dick Cavett.
Dick Cavett. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about, well, he's definitely.
No, I'm sorry. Dick Martin. My fault. Dick Martin.
Dean Martin?
Dick Martin.
Dick Martin.
Dick Martin.
Okay.
That's what I can think of it. Yeah.
I think Dick Cavett would be an interesting choice.
Dick Cavett would be a very interesting. Dick Martin.
I'm not sure who's Dick Martin.
You landed on the wrong dick there. I don't know.
You don't ring a bell to me.
Just a fella.
I know a Dean Martin. I know Billy Martin.
But the weird thing about this clip is it's obviously like towards the end of Lucille Ball's life. So, and Carol Channing is looking rough, has always looked rough. So it's just they look like death staring at death basically in this clip. But yeah, that's where the wormhole ended. I'm like, okay, I think it's time for bed.
All right. Lucille. By the way, I need to watch that Lucille Ball movie on Prime.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that either.
I haven't either. It came out over Christmas, and maybe that's on tap for this weekend.
I've heard real good things about it.
Yeah, and my wife wants to see it too, so that might be maybe tonight or this weekend thing we watch, because my plans for this weekend are try to lay low, I think.
Avoid all contact with humans.
Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of where I'm feeling right now on some of that.
I get that.
Yeah. But I feel like I'm behind on TV, although I don't think I am. Like I haven't watched any Boba Fett yet. Mm-hmm. I think there's one, maybe a second one out now. My Mayor of Kingstown finale is out
right
Sunday.
Did you finish Yellowstone?
Yellowstone, I'm caught up on. I have not started 1883 yet.
Okay.
So I got to start that.
Well, because they just put out the finale.
Yes, that was this past Sunday. I watched it. I watched it live.
Okay.
I'm caught up to that one, so I watch it live now. 1883 I've not watched any of. I recorded the first one on because they put it on Paramount.
Right.
But I think I'll just go to Paramount Plus and watch them all, or whatever's up there now.
See, that's the thing. All these streaming services have really done like a lot of damage to my like DVRing. I mean, I don't have the cable anymore, but back when I had it, it was just like I didn't ever use the DVR because I would just go find it on a streaming service.
See, I've got my DVR stuff, and then I got my streaming service stuff. Like,
yeah, but at what point is it too like a point of diminishing returns?
Well, my world it isn't,
because you just have so much to view. It just time.
I make time to watch TV. That's kind of in our evenings. When I'm not doing anything, that's pretty much what we're doing. So, yeah, but and then there's like stuff that Kim and I watch together.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few things she watches, and then there's a bunch of stuff that I like that she doesn't.
Right.
And so,
speaking of,
but I have things like I'm a mark for Reels channel, like the 2 hours on Rush or 2 hours on the autopsy of Elvis, and I'm like, all right, I'm in, and so I record a bunch of stuff on my DVR like that,
right?
And then like 10 o'clock at night when Kim's gone to bed and I'm still up, I'm like, I'm going to bust out one of my documentaries and start watching it. She has no interest in those. Or if it's like, I'm a mark for those Vice Channel shows, like I Was a Teenage Felon, or...
You like your TV in basket form, I think. So where you just like to throw everything in a big basket. And at the end of the day, you can be like, all right.
What do I got?
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
I can relate to that.
And then I just have my baskets, like you say, and I'm like, okay. So like on my Hulu, it's like I'm just all Letterkenning it right now. I know there's stuff.
Which, by the way, that's what I was going to ask you. Have you watched any more?
I am in the 5th season.
Okay.
Now. Yeah,
okay.
I think I'm like the first or second episode. I watched the first episode of season 5.
I was very disappointed. I will say this: the new season, I'm not all the way through yet.
Is it out?
It's out.
Okay.
It is among the best writing of the series. As far as like pun heavy and a lot of, maybe one of the best pun episodes in the series, but it's only 6 episodes.
Well, see, they do every one like that. It's like 7. I think 7's on average.
I think 7 to 8 is usually what. But yeah, this one feels even shorter.
Is the final episode a special episode?
I don't think it is. I haven't gotten there yet.
So maybe that's where.
Right.
Because generally speaking, for those that are veteran Letterkenner watchers now, like myself, they usually end the second to last episode kind of on a cliffhangery.
That's their finale,
and then their final episode of the season is usually a seasonal episode not related to the story.
Right.
Like for instance, the end of season 4, they're celebrating Easter.
Yes.
And it's their tradition of Easter.
Who's hiding? Yeah, Darius egg hunt.
Prior to that, it was someone's birthday bash, wasn't it? And and then I can't remember the first seasons. Was it?
Have you already gotten to the oh gosh, where the two brothers come back, the
hockey players? Yes, that's
okay.
That's the episode. I think that's the last episode I've watched. Was the May brothers, or not May? Which were they? Bay brothers.
The Bay brothers.
Yeah, because it was Thunder Bay's party and all that. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Okay. Because I think that's where you meet a lot of the characters for the second half of the series.
Okay.
As far as like Wayne's specific love interest, which is the girl with the dog.
Well, she's about to move to the city.
Okay, so you're there. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Give it time, young Padawan. You'll get there.
That's what she's got. By the way, it's a funny show. If you like clicky, witty. Type shows. This is what this is. It's kind of that like inside club kind of show because it's all unique lingo to the show. Unless I guess you live in, the middle of nowhere, Canada. Maybe they all talk like that. I don't know, but
it just suffice it to say, it makes me happy that in season 10, Noah and Lavina Dick make a comeback.
Suffice it to say,
that made me like when they show back up, because for those who know the series. That's J-Rock from Trailer Park Boys.
Okay.
Is the Amish holy,
Okay, see, I haven't gotten into that yet.
Okay.
So
you'll get there.
I'll get there.
You'll get there, sir. So good.
But it is a good show. But there's other shows on there. I want to You know that remember that show, The Cleaner, I was talking about? That's on Hulu. So maybe I will see what's going on there. It is 8:24. I haven't even done weather or commercial break or nothing. So let's go ahead and get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty mild today with high pressure in place over eastern New Mexico. We will be cooling off a little bit with another cold front on Sunday, but no rain coming up. Sunshine and mid to upper 60s today. Overnight it looks like mid 30s and clear skies, and then a sunny Saturday warming up a little bit to the low 70s and breezy. Mix of sun and clouds and upper 50s on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 24 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 55%. Winds are calm at the moment. Nicer today, warmer today than yesterday, certainly. Sunny skies, highs near 65 expected. Winds will be out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 32 degrees. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Your Saturday going to be just downright nice. Sunny, high near 71. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday night, clear skies. Partly cloudy skies. Overnight low of 34. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, cooler. Partly cloudy, highs back down into the 50s. 57 for a high on Sunday with north winds at around 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy with an overnight low of 25 for Sunday night. And then looks like we'll start the work week next week in the 50s as well. Mostly sunny, high of 54 for Monday. Tuesday, partly cloudy, high of 55. And then they're saying there's a chance. Tuesday night into Wednesday, some rain chances. 20% on Tuesday night. Wednesday, a 30% chance of rain, mostly cloudy, 56, and a 30% for Wednesday night as well. So maybe, knock on some wood there, get a little moisture next week. We'll hope and pray for some of that. All right, it is 26 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break. We'll be back on the other side. Do not go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Happy New Year. Isn't that what we usually say this time of year? But is happiness what we really need? Maybe it would be better to wish each other a joyful New Year, or a contented New Year, or peace-filled New Year, or maybe best of all, a COVID-free New Year. Joy, contentment, and peace, that's what the world really needs. We're coming off a crazy time of year when our world should be most focused on joy that comes from Jesus. But instead, we turn to a time of anything but contentment. In the book of Romans, Paul offers up this blessing in verse 13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope. Wouldn't that be a better wish for our world for a new year? From our family to yours, we wish you a joyful, contented, and peace-filled new year.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
This is John.
Hey, my name is John Jackson.
He's not some actor. He's a steward of the land with a John Deere 3 Series tractor and a PTO Quick Connect that hooks up rear implements with a single click. John runs with us because to him, there's nothing more important than connecting with the land. Nothing runs like a Deere. Hear John's story at Deere.com.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
Drive into a year that's new with a vehicle that's new, or new to you from your friends at the Tailgate Nation. Roswell Ford's inventory of pre-owned vehicles is bigger than it's ever been, the biggest in southeastern New Mexico. More than 140 excellent vehicles on the lot, just about every make and model of truck, including the popular Ford Super Duty. Plenty of SUVs, too, as well as luxury cars and sporty cars. Something for every family at every budget. All carefully inspected and fairly priced. And all come with a 3-day money-back guarantee, so you can buy without being shy. If you have a really nice vehicle, Roswell Ford wants to buy it. We'll appraise it in about 20 minutes, then make you an offer that's better than other places. And Roswell Ford is now taking orders in person and online for the new Ford trucks and SUVs that will be arriving soon. So get your new year started right with a vehicle that's right from Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, corner of 9th and Main.
The
Valley Cafe is now open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Located inside the 180 Youth Building across from Church on the Move on Brasher in Roswell. Enjoy soups, salads, sandwiches, burgers, and more. Try one of their signature creations like the sweet and spicy burger with honey jalapeno bacon barbecue sauce, the chicken cordon bleu soup, Chef Anthony Noble's fried avocados, and the Smotherman burger with creamy green chili sauce. Or swing by for coffee or breakfast burritos on your way to work. The all-new Valley Cafe, open Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or even a snack after school. Don't feel like leaving home? Order takeout from DoorDash.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Elephants use these skin folds on their bodies to crush mosquitoes. Mike Winters uses his to hide M&Ms. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:30. I'd promised giving out the number for Vitalant like the end of last hour and got sidetracked on nonsense. So let me give you that information out right now. Yes, Vitalant will be hosting their next blood drive here in Roswell 1 week from today, next Friday, January 14th. It's going to be from 11 to 3 at the Vitalant office. If you would like to get an appointment for that blood drive, please call or text Stephanie with Vitalant. You can reach her at 575-840-8178. Again, that's 575-840-8178. For folks in Carlsbad, your next blood drive will be Tuesday, January 11th. They're going to be at United Way of Eddy County there at 206 East Pecan at the Boys and Girls Club Event Center. That'll be in Carlsbad from 11 to 3. Once again, you can contact Stephanie with Vitalant to get on the schedule there at 575-840-8178, 575-840-8178. Folks in the Artesia area, your next blood drive will be Wednesday next week, January 12th. They're going to be at Hotel Artesia in the meeting room from 1:30 to 5:30. Again, for folks in Artesia, at the Hotel Artesia in the meeting room next Wednesday, January 12th from 1:30 to 5:30. Call or text Stephanie with Vitalant to get an appointment for that event, 575-840-8178. And like I said, Roswell will be next Friday at Vitalant. Again, the next time after that, they'll be in Roswell Tuesday, January 18th, the following Tuesday, once again back at the Vitalant office from 1 to 5 there at the office there. 575-840-8178 is the number to call there. Hey, we are about a month and some change away from the big John Denver Tribute Ted Vigil concert that's going to be happening on Saturday, February 19th. There's 2 shows, a 2 p.m. and a 7 p.m. show. They're both going to be taking place at the Roswell Community Little Theater. This is a fundraising concert for the Kiwanis Club of Roswell and the Roswell Community Little Theater. Ted Vigil looks and sounds just like John Denver. As a matter of fact, here's a picture of Ted Vigil for those watching the video on the flyer I have here. And that's not John Denver. That's Ted Vigil. It's scary how much I'm still not convinced. Are you sure that's not John Denver? No, that's Ted Vigil. But yeah, and not only does he look like him, he sounds just like him, and he really does a show kind of chronicling his life and the music and everything. But there's going to be 2 shows, a 2 p.m. and a 7 p.m. Tickets are available. They're reserved seating and VIP seating. I would just go ahead and get the VIP. It's $40 for the VIP seating. You get special seating, and you also get access to like hors d'oeuvres and snacks and things. They got a little room with all kinds of swag stuff for you to participate and partake in. But if you don't want none of that, you can get just a $30 ticket. That'll get you a ticket into the show. Tickets are available right now online at roswelltheater.com. That's Roswell Theater, THEATRE, spelled like livetheater.com. And you'll click on the link there and get your tickets. You can also call Lori Schatz for tickets as well, or information, or to be a sponsor even. You can still do that. 575-513-8119. Again, that's 575-513-8119. And like I said, this is a fundraising event for both the Roswell Community Little Theater. They are in the midst of raising funds to replace the roof of the Community Little Theater. They desperately needs a replacement. When it rains, not very often, but when it does, they find out real quick where those leaks are. And so they got to get that replaced. And the folks from the Roswell Kiwanis, they are raising money for the all-inclusive park that the Kiwanis and the city and many other entities are working on to bring to Roswell here. They got I think the groundbreaking and everything else. They're just raising funds and getting all the stuff put together for that. And if you're kind of wondering what an all-inclusive park is, it is what it is in the title.
All expenses paid.
Yes, exactly. It's free. You can come up.
Totally free.
But no, it's for all children to be able to enjoy an experience. Particularly if there's kids on the spectrum,
right?
They're able to. There's things for them to enjoy and do that don't, impact with their condition and things. But equally, a child with zero issues or anything can go in there and equally have a good time. So that's the way this park is designed. And so by coming out and checking out the Ted V. Hill concert and getting your John Denver on, you're helping support that as well too. So yeah. So,
I think we should, before the concert, we should stage like a candlelight vigil outside of the event just to confuse people before they walk in. Is this guy's name Ted Vigil or Ted V. Hill? And was that a candlelight vigil I just went to, or candlelight V. Hill? Where are we?
Just call him John.
Just John. Mr. Denver?
From Roswell, New Mexico.
Dusendorfer. It's like Dusendorf, I think.
You're right. I think it's Dusendorf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see why he changed it.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, it doesn't have a good ring to it.
It doesn't have the ring that Engelbert Humperdinck has.
Right. It's like Demikowski or McKellips. It just doesn't have a good ring to it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing with names. It's either got to be quick to easy to remember or over the top crazy, like your Engelbert Humperdinck or
to this day,
Weird Al Yankovic.
Gun to my head, couldn't spell his name.
Which one?
Engelbert Humperdinck.
Oh, I couldn't either.
No.
It's an E, right? E.
I have no. I know there's like two N's randomly in the last name. It's like DNCNK or something like that.
I don't know. I don't know either. I was told there's not a lot of spelling in radio either. That was another reason why I have no math and no spelling.
You put a gun to my head. Spell receive. Oh God.
I before E except after C. I don't know.
Receive is the one I mess up every time.
That's why, words like that are, thank God there's autocorrect when you type. Because, if I have to write something out, the only person that sees it's me most of the time. So, but for others, I'm typing, and fortunately, every time I spell received wrong or there's a couple other words I notoriously spell wrong.
Yeah.
And it just automatically fixes. I can't remember any
Receive
of them.
is just the one that jumps into my head immediately. It's like, as soon as I know I have to write, it's like... And I know the whole I before E, but here's the thing. Receive is a except after C type sound. So I would,
Yeah, so it's EI.
Except after C, or when written as A, as in lay.
I fell asleep after the rest of the saying.
You fell asleep halfway between the rhyme?
It's like A-E-I-O-U. And
I before E, except after C.
Well, it's like the vowels. A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y. When's the sometimes Y?
Rhythm.
Is that one?
Yep.
That's a sometimes
like
Y?
It's like one of the only ones because there's no vowels in rhythm.
Yeah. But what about all those like foreign words that have no vowels?
They're not from here.
I know.
They're not from around here. We don't talk about them.
But they got to be applied to American rules.
That's when you put one of them fancy schwa things over the top.
I think there should be a universal rule. You can't have a word with, and this is in any language that I care about. There should be no words allowed that are all vowels or all consonants.
Fair enough.
Like that, you'd be like, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to have that name. You must pick another name.
You know, I didn't figure it out until after she was born, but my daughter has 2 consonants next to 2 vowels next to 2 consonants. It's RHIANN and then ON, but and next to 2 more consonants, or next to a vowel and a consonant. So, yeah, but it's just we didn't mean to do it that way. It just worked out that way.
Yeah. You know what I think is the part that's kind of a tragedy is when you give a kid a quote unquote normal sounding name and then you spell it different.
Right.
And I know some people like to say I want it unique spelled. I honestly think it's just people don't know how to spell. Like I bet there's a lot of people named Michael that have it spelled wrong because they didn't know it's AEL instead of EAL, you know, and then I know, or there's a bunch of people they put the K and it's like unless you're Russian, I don't see. Oh, speaking of that, Letterkenny made me laugh so hard when I was watching one of the more recent episodes in season 4, where they're showing Canadian Sports Center.
Oh yeah,
and it's got Sports Center, SENTRE.
RE Centra. Yeah.
I laughed when I saw that, and of course the 2 guys where they're talking like trying to sound like the ESPN Sports Center guys, but it's the Canadian version of it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's what I love. The shows like that are just the stuff you don't actually. It's not meant to be jokes. Yeah, that's always the best.
Well, it's probably how they spell it there, so it's just normal.
One of my favorite sight gags of all time, and it's really it's a thinker, is in the tobacco episode of The Simpsons where Homer grows tobacco.
Okay.
They go to a place and the sign on the side or on the front of the building says Sneed's Seed and Feed, formerly Chuck's. So you really got to think about that for a second. It's like
I do.
Sneed's Seed and Feed, Chuck's. Oh, yeah, that's one of my favorite sight gags ever.
Yeah, and it's
real quick. You have to like pause it or you miss it.
Well, those are the ones that are more for the people that create the show, their own little entertaining little bits and things like that. But I forgot where we're mainly talking about on this one. I just completely spaced.
It was Ted Vigil.
Oh, it was Ted Vigil. Yeah.
So all this to say, come see Ted Vigil.
Yes, and John Denver
and John Dusseldorf.
By the way, I want to talk about why the excessive use of the word charcuterie lately. I've been seeing that more and more in the world, and I don't know why. It is 8:42. Let's go ahead and pause for news, weather, town hall business, quick break as well. We'll be back. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The New Mexico Department of Health announcing this week it's implementing revised federal guidance surrounding isolation and quarantine for COVID-19, effective immediately for anyone who tests positive for COVID, regardless of their vaccine status. You do need to stay home for 5 days, isolate and quarantine. You do not need to get an additional PCR test if you've had a positive at-home rapid test. If you have no symptoms after the 5 days, you can leave your home, but you are strongly urged to continue to wear a mask for 5 more days. If you have a fever, stay home until the fever is gone for at least 24 hours. To prevent the spread of COVID, tell anyone you have recently had close contact with and encourage them to get tested, monitor for symptoms, and reduce exposure to all other people. Of course, you can view all of the guidelines on the New Mexico Department of Health website. You're up to date. That's local news headlines. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty mild today with high pressure in place over eastern New Mexico. We will be cooling off a little bit with another cold front on Sunday, but no rain coming up. Sunshine and mid to upper 60s today. Overnight it looks like mid 30s and clear skies, and then a sunny Saturday warming up a little bit to the low 70s and breezy. Mix of sun and clouds and upper 50s on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the SRN News Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Growth in the U.S. service industry, where most Americans work, pulled back in December after expanding at a record pace the previous 2 months. The Institute for Supply Management reported Thursday that its monthly survey of service industries declined to a reading of 62 last month from an all-time high of 69.1 in November. Any reading above 50 indicates growth. The Monsanto company pleaded guilty Thursday to illegally using and storing agricultural chemicals in Hawaii and will pay a $12 million fine. Monsanto was charged with 30 environmental crimes after allowing workers to go into cornfields in 2020 after a product was sprayed. Federal law prohibits people from entering areas where the chemical is sprayed within 6 days of application. On Wall Street, the Dow down 170 points, the Nasdaq down 19, and the S&P 500 dropped 4 points. With the SRN News Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than the average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second upload and download speed. With Faster, get true 500 meg. And with Fastest, get 16 gigs of download and upload speeds. Learn more at plateaufiber.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
I am Sandra Stewart, Chaves County Assessor.
And I'm Charlotte Andrade Gourlay, Chaves County Treasurer.
2021 property tax bills will be late this year due to questions on the ballot for Elida, Dexter, and Lake Arthur school districts.
Property tax bills will be mailed out December 1st. The first half payment is due December 10th and delinquent after January 10th, 2022.
For any questions, please contact our offices.
Thank you.
Where can you find the best selection of beautiful and unique home decor in the region? Easy, Casa Decor in Ruidoso. For years, people from all over have come to Casa Decor for the best selection of rustic, real wood furniture, beautiful decor from the Southwest and beyond, and quality outdoor furniture and accessories that are built to last a lifetime. At Casa Decor, they have over 10,000 square feet of showroom for everything you need. Casa Decor opens 7 days a week from 9:30 to 5 at 1214 Meacham Drive in Ruidoso or online at casadecorruidoso.com. Proud supporter of local high school sports.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed, antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Mays Lumber has all the hard-to-find hardwood you've been looking for. Oak, cherry, walnut, poplar, and maple. Plus, hard-to-find exotic woods like purple heart, zebra wood, ambrosia maple, black limba, and bloodwood. Perfect for that one-of-a-kind gift piece or table. Get ready with Formica and Wilson Art countertops in 12-footer custom length with installation available. Make it happen at Mays Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, serving southeastern New Mexico and beyond since 1934.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $700 on average, and those savings add up. Imagine what you could buy in the future.
So I used the savings from switching to Progressive 30 years ago to buy tickets to the championship game. You know, between those two teams that didn't exist 30 years ago. Yeah, I'm a big Alaska Palm Trees fan. Which is a team now, in the future.
So switch to Progressive and save big, because those savings can add up in the future. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
Hey, Carrie, we need that tax report by tomorrow. Hey, Bobby, get me that expenses.
For Hari's accounting firm, client growth is exponential.
I know we're a couple of accountants short.
He needs whip-smart accountants at whiplash speed.
Hey, so why aren't these receivables matching up?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. U-Haul is the world's largest advertiser in the Yellow Pages. Too bad millennials don't know what the Yellow Pages are. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 8:49. Got a few minutes here before 9 o'clock. I do want to mention, and I shared it on our Facebook page, but Chaves County Clerk's office will be closed for a portion of today. They're going to be closed from 9:45 this morning, so about another hour till 1 o'clock today. They're going to be, looks like the office will be attending a funeral today. So so if you have business at the clerk's office today, you're going to have to do it before 9:45 this morning or after 1 o'clock this afternoon. So I just wanted to pass that along for the few folks that may have to head that way today. I also just learned on Facebook, Sidney Portier passed away at the age of 94. I didn't, I got to be honest, I did not know he was still alive. I thought he'd already passed away. But yeah, he passed away at the age of 94. First I saw it on Magic Quiz, which I don't take as a very reliable source for things on Facebook. Sorry, Magic Quiz people. But KOAT or KOB or one of them shared it on their page too. I just saw a little bit ago. So that I trust a little bit more, at least for information like that. So yeah, so apparently actor Sidney Portier passed away at the age of 94. Of course, iconic actor, Oscar-winning actor. I mean, he's a legend. And I guess he's been retired for a while. I haven't seen him in much movies and stuff. So I guess he was in the Bahamas. Is that where? Because Portier was Best Actor Oscar for the 1963 Lilies in the Field, also becoming the first Bahamian actor to win the awards. I guess he's from Bahamas. I did not know that. But I think where I saw on one of the stories that the Bohemian Prime Minister, yeah, there you go, one of those titles. So I guess that's where he was calling home there in the Bahamas. But I hadn't seen him. It's been years since I've seen him on anything, and when I saw him, it was like at an award show, or it wasn't, or like some kind of charity, celebrity, something. It wasn't like him in a movie or a TV show or anything, or it was either like an award show or some kind of raising awareness, something or another for something. I don't. Yeah, too soon, I think. Sorry, someone told me a joke. Guess he's not coming for dinner. That was the joke there, but too soon, maybe. But yeah, so Sidney Portier, legendary actor. How does that work on the threes and all that? Did we already have a three with Betty White and John Madden? Harry Reid was in there. Does that count, or does Sidney Portier go over to this one? Oh yeah. Oh, and then what's his name? The Cowboys and Broncos coach. Yeah. Dan Reeves died. That was the one I was thinking of. Dan Reeves. Of course, I think I'm messing up trifectas now, but because like Madden, yeah, I think there might be two trifectas there because Madden and Dan Reeves might be in the same, because they died like either on the same day or a day apart. And Betty White was like right after that, wasn't it? And Harry Reid was before that. So I'm going to say Harry Reid, John Madden, and Dan Reeves are in a trifecta. Bob Dole passed, so maybe Harry Reid, Bob Dole. Yeah, I gotta organize here. So Bob Dole, but then so that makes Portier and Betty White maybe in the same one, and yeah, and put him in that. So maybe that rounds out these trifectas. All right, we've met our quota now. I'm sorry, you can't do that. But anyway, is Ghostbusters out in? Okay, now Ghostbusters, I just see that's out on video, available on digital now. That's a good movie. If y'all have not saw the Ghostbusters Afterlife, I haven't been back into a theater for movies in a while, and that was the movie I went back for. I went back in November. I need to go back and see some more. I think there's 1 or 2 movies out now I kind of want to see that aren't also on other platforms. But Ghostbusters was one because I think it was only available in theaters at the time. So I went and got it to the theater and saw it, and was so glad I did. I loved the movie. But apparently Ghostbusters Afterlife, the new one, is now available digitally. I don't know. I'm guessing wherever you get your Amazons or Apple or wherever you can get it from. Yeah, the advertisement I'm seeing it's for on Apple TV, but I bet it's available on other platforms as well to rent or buy. I don't know if it's available to rent yet, but at least to buy. That's the new move now. Well, I say new move. Over time, back in the day, kids, you know, how the process worked was, you know, the movies would show up in the theater, only in the theater. And then you had to wait a couple months, and then it would show up on demand first. Like your DirecTVs or whatever would have their on demand. And prior to them having on demand, it just went from there to your video. But then, and then it went to video and then I think video would get it first. And then after video, like HBO and your Cinemax and Showtimes would get them later after that. So like video was the between the theater and showing up on your regular TV. It would end up on HBO or Cinemax or Showtime for a bit. And that's what made those special. Because if you didn't want to rent the movies or everything, you're like, oh, then you're like, all right, well, and then HBO for many years, kids, I don't even know if they still do it. I don't think they do because I think COVID even probably put a kibosh on this. But for many years, HBO would make like Saturday nights their premiere movie night. So every Saturday night you tune in on what's the new HBO movie. Every Saturday night you tune in at probably about 6 o'clock here, 8 o'clock East Coast time, and it would be the big blockbuster movie that they released that week. And it's like, ooh, the new whatever coming out. And so that was kind of the jam. And then Sundays was kind of reserved for many years, which I still think it is now for HBO, is like their programming night. I want to say like shows like The Sopranos really got this started. Like the new episodes of Sopranos would come out on Sunday nights, and then, you know, later Boardwalk Empire and then all the others. But I want to say, I think Sopranos was kind of the one that set the tone for those Saturday night or Sunday night HBO premieres. I know they had a couple shows prior to that, but they didn't, as series, but didn't quite get the worldwide appeal that Sopranos got. You know, I mean, they had, what was that? The first show that they did, it was a comedy. And I can't remember, but it was, you know, they had that was one of the first ones that kind of is like HBO original scripted comedy show. They had a couple of like not necessarily the news, those style of comedy deals and comedy specials that were original content, but they didn't have original programming. And then HBO started doing that, and that kind of opened the floodgates for your Netflix and everybody else. But back then, that's how the movie thing. Now it's different, especially in COVID world where they're simultaneously releasing movies in theaters and on streaming platforms. Some are, you know, now it's, and generally in the digital world now too is how it works, at least how I've noticed, is then they'll release the movie to buy digitally if you want to own it digitally, which I don't really understand. I know this is probably because I'm curmudgeonly old kind of mentality there, but I don't understand owning digital movies. I don't. You know, I guess I've just because where I was raised, I'm like, if you're going to have a movie collection, it should be DVDs or VHS or whatever sitting on a shelf with your player, and that's your collection. Something that you can, in theory, go access anytime. Although those VHS tapes are really hard to access now. They don't hold the test of time with the tape the way digital does. But anyway, so it's hard for me to wrap around the fact. No, I got a bunch of movies owned it, and I know that's just because I'm the wrong generation. I get that, but I just don't. I'd rather rent a movie like digitally. I don't see the point in owning it. I mean, I guess. I mean, I'm the wrong generation. That's not my target demo, but I'd rather rent it. But what they do now is they'll put like something like Ghostbusters out, and for a couple weeks here, you can just buy it. You can't rent it for another 2-3 weeks, which I'd rather do. I'd rather rent it for $4 and watch it once or twice than rather buy it for $20-$30 and then watch it 1 or 2 more times, and then it sits on a cloud or hard drive somewhere that you're going to forget and never use again. I mean, that's and I grant it. Some people watch the same movie over and over and over again, and I think that might be a younger thing too, because I did that when I was younger. Like there's certain and to this day, there's certain movies I'll watch again, but generally speaking, it's got to be like okay. For instance, the movie Silverado from the '80s with Kevin Costner and there was Danny Glover's a bazillion stars in a Western movie. Love that movie. I've seen it 1.2 million times. I would watch it if it came on today, but I wouldn't watch it back to back or nothing like I would have, say, in my teens or 20s. I don't know. Maybe that's an age thing. I don't know. All right, it's 9 o'clock. We're going to chit-chat some more next hour. You're welcome or sorry, whatever you prefer there. It's time for some Town Hall News. We'll be back on the other side of Town Hall News. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. U.S. employers added a modest 199,000 jobs last month, while the unemployment rate fell by 0.3% to 3.9%. CFRA Research Chief Investment Strategist Sam Stovall says the jobs gain is disappointing.
We were forecasting a 440,000 rise in non-farm payrolls. So when it came in at 199, I was very surprised.
Wages also rose sharply, a sign that companies are competing fiercely to fill their open jobs. The Supreme Court is taking up 2 major Biden administration efforts to bump up the nation's vaccination rate against COVID-19 at a time of spiking coronavirus cases because of the Omicron variant.
Challengers argue that the vaccine rules exceed the administration's authority. But the Solicitor General, the administration's top Supreme Court lawyer, wrote that they are needed to avoid unnecessary hospitalizations and deaths. Nearly 207 million Americans, 62% of the population, are fully vaccinated, and more than a third of the country has received a booster shot, including the 9 justices.
Correspondent Mike Hempen reporting. A winter storm that has already left areas of the south with more than 6 inches of snow moved into the northeast during the morning commute and prompted many school districts to close for the day. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker urged people to stay off the roads Friday and take public transportation if possible. Actor Sidney Poitier is dead at the age of 94. In 1963, Poitier became the first black winner of a lead actor Oscar for his performance in Lilies of the Field. On Wall Street, the Dow is off 73 points. The Nasdaq is down nearly 164. More on these stories at townhall.com.
It's that time again. Time for fresh starts and resolutions. And Harry's can help. Harry's is an award-winning razor brand that makes a full range of grooming essentials. But the benefits go way beyond a great shave at a fair price. Maybe you resolve to take control of your finances. With cartridge refills as low as $2 each, your budget won't even flinch when you switch to Harry's and save all year. And with checkout code SRNGOLD at harrys.com, you can get a trial set for just $3. If your resolution is to always look and feel your best, that's Harry's specialty. Their high-quality razors combine an ergonomic design with 5 super sharp blades, shipped directly to you with a 100% money-back guarantee. New customers can get a Harry's starter set for just $3 at harrys.com with code SRNGOLD at checkout. Get a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel with aloe, and travel cover, all for just $3. That's code SRNGOLD at checkout at harrys.com.
A top official says Novak Djokovic is not being held captive in Australia as the men's world #1 tennis player faces deportation over COVID vaccination rules.
It's unclear if the world #1 will remain in the immigration detention hotel where he spent last night. Yesterday, Djokovic's mother, Diana, said her son was being kept like a prisoner. But the Australian Home Affairs Minister, Karen Andrews, said there was nothing stopping the tennis star from leaving the country if he chose not to pursue the case. Novak Djokovic has previously made clear his opposition to getting the vaccine. He came to the country with an exemption granted by Tennis Australia and the state of Victoria.
BBC correspondent Shaima Khalil reporting. 3 suspected pirates who were detained on a Danish military vessel after a fatal gunfight with the Danish Navy off West Africa have been released. News and analysis at townhall.com. British troops are being deployed to hospitals in London that are struggling to cope with major staff shortages amid the surge in COVID-19 cases.
The Ministry of Defence says it's sending some 40 military medics and 160 general duty staff to plug staffing gaps caused by National Health Service personnel who are either ill or self-isolating amid the spike in coronavirus cases in the capital. The military deployment underscores the impact on Britain's health service of the pandemic that affected nearly 180,000 people on Thursday alone in the country, forcing many workers to stay home. While the current military focus is on London, it could spread. Charles de Ledesma, London.
NATO foreign ministers are discussing Russia's military buildup around Ukraine. It's the first in a series of high-level talks over the next week aimed at easing tensions. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday, everybody.
Indeed.
We made it.
Yep.
Tis here.
It's so funny when Facebook Memories pops up and reminds me that, yes, we're all guilty of even the cheesiest of memes sometimes. I got a memory reminder from 2 years ago when one Michael P. Winters shared with myself and young Tanner Todd a picture of Baby Yoda holding a handgun and some chicken nuggets with the phrase, "Touch the nugs, get the slugs." Well played, sir. Well
that holds
played.
up to my world today.
It's like, yeah, 2 years from now, or 2 years, I think these Mandalorian memes I'm making are still going to be completely relevant.
And sentiment true.
Huh?
Touch my nugs, get the slugs.
Fair enough.
I share anything. I won't share my nugs.
I don't share my nugs.
Because I get my nugs from McDonald's.
That was such a weird... Okay. I never understood... There's a lot of things about the internet I don't understand. Like, for example, why it is that 30 to 40-year-old housewives, generally named Karen, feel the need to put minions on all their, I just don't give a crap.
Or
memes.
over-minioned. Yeah,
right.
That's true.
The other one is Baby Yoda never talked. Not one time did we hear a word out of Baby Yoda's mouth or Grogu's mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, spoiler alert, his name's Grogu.
Grow what?
Yeah, huh? But
I just thought he's the chow.
Why did we all of a sudden attach not chicken nuggets? No, not chicken nuggets. That would be fine. Chicky nuggies. Why was that a thing with Baby Yoda for so long?
I don't know.
Still is in some weird circles.
I just People embrace it.
I don't understand the internet sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not for me to understand. I know, but.
Well, here's something that happened to me. Now, you say that.
Mm-hmm.
And don't remind me to thank McDonald's. I'm going to do that, but I got to finish this thought.
Right.
But, I was looking on Twitter earlier, just scrolling through Twitter, and Elmo posted something. Elmo.
As in, like, the official
Yes, Elmo.
account for. Oh, okay.
The blue check mark, the whole nine.
Wow.
Yeah. And he had a question. Have you ever seen a rock eat a cookie? And for a hot minute, I started going, I'm going to find pictures of Dwayne Johnson eating a cookie.
Yeah,
and share it up
exactly
here.
where in my mind.
And then
yeah.
about halfway of me doing that, I said, I'm about to respond to Elmo about why am I doing this? Why am I? And I stopped and then went away immediately.
Yeah, no. There's those moments where you're like, it's 9 p.m. on a Tuesday, and I'm writing to the official Twitter account of Steakums. What the hell went wrong with my life?
Exactly. I had that moment. I swear to God that happened. I was sitting there, and as I'm looking for pictures of The Rock eating cookies, I'm going, what? Wait a minute. I'm just doing this to put a thing up for Elmo's Twitter page.
Yep.
I need to stop.
It's right in line with those things where it's like, and part of me feels like there's some kind of like subversive reasoning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But like all those, if your age was backwards, how old would you be?
Uh-huh.
It's like, are we training the AI algorithm somehow with these? Because I always feel like all these weird questions are like feeding the beast information somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how or what, but.
Which brings up my next question. What's the deal with the overabundance of charcuterie right now? I have... Like it's all been all over my world, and I don't know why.
Okay. The reason it's big in my world, at least, I don't know about the rest of the world, is my best friend Misty, who is a chef, can't say the word charcuterie.
Okay.
She just can't.
What does she say?
Charcuterie, shirtacarterie. Like there's been all kinds of weird ones. So the other day, I sent her a picture of it was like a shark. It was a shark. It was a picture of a board with a shark on it, and something else that says the charcuterie board because nobody can say charcuterie. And then yesterday, I'm sure this is what you're talking about, the Alan Jackson one.
Okay, I did see
Did you
that.
see that
Yes, that I did see. Yes,
it's so great.
That's what I saw this morning.
Yeah,
and that's what set me over the edge. Like, what's with all the charcuterie lately? Because and finish your story,
it said charcuterie or charcuterie or something like that.
See, that makes it worse because now in my own head I start going that way.
But of course, because of the way the meme was, I couldn't not sing it because it's Alan Jackson holding a beautiful charcuterie board.
Yeah.
At the bottom it just says a lot about living and a little about lunch. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Well, and I think this started in my head because for Christmas. My wife and I received a beautiful charcuterie board.
Oh, nice!
It's like a beautifully wood laid. It's got some kind of infusion paint. And then the artist, and he's an artist that makes every one of these charcuterie boards puts a little shark tooth in the back of it there,
really?
Underneath. So it's got a shark. So it's a display. It's like in our kitchen. It's not even like
nice,
like used for charcuterie. It's just being displayed right now. I mean, at some point when we have a need for charcuterie, we'll have it there. But ever since I got said charcuterie board, I've heard the term charcuterie and references to charcuterie about 1.7 million times since Christmas Day. And I'm like, what's going on?
It's like the new thing the internet has latched onto, basically.
I've never talked more about meats and cheeses, sliced meats and cheeses, in my life in the last 2 weeks than I have. And I don't know if it's a Christmas thing, and now, because everyone likes to have finger things at Christmas.
Maybe.
And so they just, and someone said, that's called charcuterie. I like it. Let's start using that word. And then now everyone's crowbarring charcuterie into everything. Yeah. I don't know if that happened.
It's become its own beast. It's hard to say. Of course, it could also be that mindset of we're in a simulation, and since you've introduced it into your own personal programming, now it's just going to keep coming up. It's kind of that mindset of like when you drive like a Toyota Tercel, you're going to start seeing a lot more Toyota Tercels.
Probably. Well, I'm waiting now. I'm sure my phones are all listening. I'm going to get about 37 ads for charcuterie boards.
Exactly. You know what's weird? I've been getting a lot of compliments on my car.
Yeah.
Of all, like, my car is very efficient. Yeah. It's not a looker's car. It's not one you'd be like, dang, nice, right? But a lot of people are throwing some respect on the Sparks name.
Nice.
Yeah.
God,
Not
maybe
Steve
it's that
Sparks.
red.
And maybe it could just be that
I think
pops.
it's that red that turns ahead.
Because I've seen other Sparks around town, and it's just never in that color specifically, but that's the one that pops, I think.
No. I have seen one in your color.
Have you?
I have seen one.
Okay.
And I thought it was you, and it wasn't.
That's the thing. There's no conspicuousness in that vehicle.
Yeah.
You see me coming. I'm not gonna roll down
because I
your
literally
block
did
and
like, hey,
spy.
I think that's Sean, and then
Right.
I was like, oh, it's not Sean.
The only thing worse is if I put like a baseball card on the spoke, so it just went, so you'd hear me coming. Because that's the only it's not shy. There's no camo on that car. It's the anti John Cena.
Yes.
You can see me.
Well, and I think I remember reading in some study somewhere many moons ago that the color red is the worst color for vehicles in terms of getting speeding tickets and things like of that nature.
As far as like insurance rates and stuff like that, yeah. But that's, again, I think that usually applies to like sports cars. I don't think anybody's looking at my car like, oh, he drives it like he stole it. I do, but I don't think they're looking at me like that.
Well, if you're gonna do Grand Theft Auto, would your car be the one you're gonna pick that Grand Theft Auto with? I mean, if you're gonna go steal a car, I figure you might want to get something a little more worth it. Something with some. I think he's talking about your cat.
My cat's name is Stefan.
Sparks, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's the reference. I think.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be listening to our show.
He's
he's sick right now.
Yes,
hi, Gene.
He's enjoying chicken soup and getting rested and probably yelling at us for talking too much.
Stefan is the cat's name. Spark is the car's name.
Yes.
Not to be confused with the other Spark.
There you go. There's your response. I can't see what it says.
I think what we're ultimately trying to say is thank you to McDonald's.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm going to add another layer.
Mm-hmm.
There was a TV show that I watched, and I don't know why I watched.
Okay.
It was on TBS or TNT. No, TBS.
Mm-hmm.
And their e-gaming league stuff they do every once in a while?
Right.
They did one for The Sims called Sparked. And I watched it.
So it's like, is it a series or is it like e-gaming?
It was e-gaming series.
Okay.
Basically, they had teams and they had competitions and challenges, and then they got eliminated by who did the best. And
as the Sim, as their Sim characters.
As Sims. Well, they give them scenarios and things and say they got to create this. And whoever creates it, like a story or, design a room or whatever it is. But yeah, it was Sims Spark.
Sounds terrible.
And I watched it.
That sounds awful.
I watched all of it. I didn't even watch like one and say this was dumb. I watched like all 6 episodes that they had.
This is terrible. Let's keep watching, see what happens.
And I don't know why.
You know what?
For some reason, I was weirdly, because I like playing that game. Yeah, that's the one game I play because that's what I kill time with.
I want to judge. Really, I do. Really,
I don't care.
But
I'm not proud of it.
Here's the thing. I spent 10 solid minutes the other day watching a guy. What I can only imagine is just a dude in his living room with a treadmill, putting marbles on the treadmill and having the marbles race. Like he'd start them out at the beginning, all the marbles in a line, and they'd eventually go to the center and they would line up and marbles doing what they do. They move around a little bit. He then start at the front of the treadmill, starts throwing red Solo cups down on the track, obstacles to like knock the marbles off, and each one has it's the red team, the blue team, and people on this TikTok stream, this live TikTok stream, were like placing bets and like rooting for their favorite. So I can't sit in judgment of you watching a sim thing because I did that for 10 minutes. Now, granted, at 10 minutes, I'm like, what am I doing? And then I moved on to other things.
Yeah. But I think what it was, and all right, this is where our people are going to get a little mad at me because this is a generational difference. Mm-hmm. The thing I started watching the Sims Spark thing and where I kind of got fascinated by is obviously the people that sign up to be on a TV show called The Sims Sparked where they play, and these are adults, not children.
Right.
These are going to be adults that are not the social norm. And
Sure.
what I mean by that is they're nerds.
We'll call it the best and the brightest at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, but you know, they're I think they spend a lot of time in basements by themselves, not, you know, doing things.
Pasty.
They generally don't do well socially with others. They're just, and so it's a lot of those types.
Right.
And I'm not trying to trivialize their problems, but like they're like crying about the Sims game and how it gives them a chance to be them. And I'm like, it's a game.
This is my opportunity to be who I want to be.
And I'm like, okay, great, but it's a game. And when you turn off the Sid game, go back to real world and live life and problems. And the problem with the Sims game can be for people that are not stable,
right,
is they can literally turn their whole lives into that.
Now, I will say
won't
this.
live a real life. And and that game opens up people with those kind of mental issues to have.
20 years ago, I probably would agree with you.
Yeah.
In 2022, I feel like if you wait long enough with this problem, eventually it's going to be the other way around. That these people are basically on the cusp of being like the Joe Cools of the future digital world that we're about to all step into.
Yeah.
You know, because they're trained in Second Life. We're
what's
out here
going to
trying
happen
live
to
first
humanity
life like
when that
suckers.
happens? We're going to turn into gelatinous Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, have you seen Wall-E? That's what's going to happen. Wall-E.
Wall-E.
We're all just going to get vehicles that dispense nacho cheese and show us whatever show we want to see, and they'll just hoverboard us around. Yep.
Good times.
Dude, the start of it was a decade or more ago with the advent of the hover round. I mean, once we were free to see the world, you knew, stuff was going to go off the rails.
Yeah, but they're going to have to be in some kind of shape because there are weight limits on those things. Just saying.
There are.
And somebody's going to have to build them.
I feel like
somebody's got to be in shape for all this. I'm just saying.
And that's one thing that they never touched on in like an Idiocracy.
Yeah.
Is,
who's the genius that makes the automation stuff?
who's making all the tech stuff? Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's got to be smart enough to make
I know
all that.
it all looks old, like it was done like 20 years ago, but where's that guy?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That is a valid point. There's your hole in Idiocracy. But yeah, I always wondered that too, because I'm like, they go to the doctors and they're like, put this in your mouth, and somebody had to create that.
Right.
There's got to be a smart guy somewhere out there.
Look at the Costco. Look how well constructed the Costco is.
Yeah.
That's quality construction right there.
Just the act of getting that much supply in one location takes
the logistics.
A modicum of intelligence. Yeah, It's so there is shooting holes there. I don't know. But
when you really sit down and think the logic of an apocalyptic thriller directed by Mike Judge, you've probably already started.
Well, have you seen This Is Up yet?
No, but I want to.
Okay.
It looks
you should
really
watch
good.
that this weekend.
Okay.
Because it's very much in that sort of same vein, but a more modern spin on it.
Okay.
It does bash everybody, conservatives, liberals, everybody. So it's equal opportunity offender. So I like that part.
That's the Adam McKay one, right?
It is.
Okay.
It is. It's not a good movie. Like at the end of the day, I didn't finish watching it and say, what a great movie. At the end of the day, I watched it. I'm like, that was awful, but eye-opening. Not even eye-opening. That's not the right term. It solidifies your thoughts of most people. It really does a good job of, it paints basically someone's running around screaming the world's coming to an end, and everyone's like, just like, okay, whatever, it's just very much like, well, you're
How
crazy.
come science hasn't said?
Yeah.
How come...
But what about, and it literally does all of that. And so it's funny to see people's reactions. And so that part I liked. But the movie as a story, it doesn't have one. And the movie just kind of ends. It has an ending.
Right.
But it ain't going to win no Oscars.
Gotcha.
It's a movie that basically, I'm thinking Adam McKay said, you all are stupid. Let me show you. And here it is. And that's what I feel like this movie is.
The waiting room between when he gets to talk to Will Ferrell again, basically.
Yeah.
Someday my prince will come back.
So if you like those kind of movies, it's exact. But if you're looking for like a good night entertainment,
if you're a fan of bad movies,
it's not going to fit that. It's not going to satiate that satisfaction. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock. Big thank you to McDonald's, as they do each and every Friday, provide us with delicious breakfast treats. Big thank you to them. I had me an Egg McMuffin and a hash brown this morning, and I'm quite happy. I didn't get my iced tea today. I didn't get drinks. I just didn't feel like carrying drinks. So got my ice cold water, my big jug, and my hash browns and my Egg McMuffin, and I'm a happy camper. Swing by any of your McDonald's. They got you covered. Don't forget to download the app. If you haven't tried the app, it's amazing. They have exclusive deals available only through the app. You can use it to order ahead and then pick up through drive-thru or curbside, or go get it and sit down and eat. If you don't have a lot of time but you want to sit down and eat for a few minutes, you can order it ahead. It's waiting there when you get there. Come in, sit down, and enjoy your meal. However way, you can do all of that through the app. Download it today. It's free, no charge, and you're going to find some great deals and exclusive savings. And also, don't forget, they are hiring. Log on to mchire.com if you are looking for a career with McDonald's. I say this every time, and I mean it because I've seen it happen. The folks, the Snowberger family, the family that runs the McDonald's here in Roswell, Artesia, Carlsbad, Tucumcari, they promote from within. The people that are part of their executive management team are almost all folks that started at the beginning with McDonald's. They started getting hired to work at a McDonald's, flipping burgers and serving fries and cleaning the lobby and all of that stuff, cashiering, and now they're part of the management, work their way up, and their executives all doing amazingly well. So it is possible. Go to mchire.com today and apply. All right, it is 24 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty mild today with high pressure in place over eastern New Mexico. We will be cooling off a little bit with another cold front on Sunday, but no rain coming up. Sunshine and mid to upper 60s today. Overnight it looks like mid 30s and clear skies, and then a sunny Saturday warming up a little bit to the low 70s and breezy. Mix of sun and clouds and upper 50s on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, 28 degrees. Still chilly out there. Humidity is at 47%. Winds currently out of the south at 8 miles per hour. And we'll get warmer today. So I'm told. Just ain't there yet. Sunny, 65 for a high. Looks like winds will be out of the south today at around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 32. Winds will be out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. Even warmer for you Saturday. Sunny, 71 for a high tomorrow with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tomorrow night with an overnight low of 34. Winds will be out of the west 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cooler once again for Sunday. Partly cloudy, high of only 57 on Sunday with north winds at around 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 25 Sunday night. And will remain in the 50s for, looks like a good hunk of next week. Sunny, 54 for Monday. Partly cloudy, 55 on Tuesday. Tuesday night and Wednesday, we have rain chances. 20% chance of rain Tuesday night, 30% on Wednesday. Mostly cloudy, 56 for a high on Wednesday, and a 30% Wednesday night as well. And then we'll be back into the low 60s under mostly sunny skies for about Thursday of next week there. All right, it is 27 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a commercial break, and then we'll chit-chat on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Today we're going to give you the 5th key to a great marriage, taken from Drs. Les and Leslie Perot. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage. The 5th key is commitment, living the love you promised.
Galatians 6:9 says, "And let us not get tired of doing what is right, for after a while we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't get discouraged and give up." You know, one of the keys to commitment is just deciding in your heart, I'm never giving up on God, I'm never giving up on my marriage, I'm never giving up on my family.
Commitment is a promise made and kept by two imperfect people. It's good for our kids to see that problems happen and we're committed to solving them together.
If you want all 5 keys to a great marriage, you can go to our website at jomconference.com.
What does it mean to be a world-class university?
To start, being ranked in the top 2% of universities in the world, and to be the only designated R1 highest research activity university in the state. It's about creating the most opportunities for students. And at the University of New Mexico, we do just that by offering affordable, top-tier education year after year and awarding millions in scholarships to our students. So, what are you waiting for? Apply to UNM at apply.unm.edu.
The Valley Cafe is now open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Located inside the 180 Youth Building across from Church on the Move on Brasher in Roswell. Enjoy soups, salads, sandwiches, burgers, and more. Try one of their signature creations like the Sweet and Spicy Burger with honey jalapeno bacon barbecue sauce, the chicken cordon bleu soup, Chef Anthony Noble's fried avocados, and the Smotherman Burger with creamy green chili sauce. Or swing by for coffee or breakfast burritos on your way to work. The all-new Valley Cafe, open Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or even a snack after school. Don't feel like leaving home? Order takeout from DoorDash.
Drive into a year that's new with a vehicle that's new, or new to you from your friends at the Tailgate Nation. Roswell Ford's inventory of pre-owned vehicles is bigger than it's ever been, the biggest in southeastern New Mexico. More than 140 excellent vehicles on the lot, just about every make and model of truck, including the popular Ford Super Duty. Plenty of SUVs, too, as well as luxury cars and sporty cars. Something for every family at every budget. All carefully inspected and fairly priced. And all come with a 3-day money-back guarantee so you can buy without being shy. If you have a really nice vehicle, Roswell Ford wants to buy it. We'll appraise it in about 20 minutes, then make you an offer that's better than other places. And Roswell Ford is now taking orders in person and online for the new Ford trucks and SUVs that will be arriving soon. So get your new year started right with a vehicle that's right from Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, corner of 9th and Main.
Attention dart enthusiasts, shooters, or just plain old chuckers. B&B Newsstand in downtown Artesia is the only place for quality dart supplies and dart boards. Plus, find wacky adult gifts like novelty socks and cup towels, Candleberry candles, Zippo lighters, and so much more. Come in and browse all the cool stuff at B&B Newsstand. You won't be disappointed. Root beer floats, Coke floats, and the best fountain drinks in town can only be found at B&B Newsstand on the corner of Main and Roselawn in downtown Artesia. Open Monday through Friday from 11 to 7.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard, aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Turtles can breathe through their butts. We imagine you know some people who do that too, because that's where their heads reside. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 32 minutes after 9 o'clock. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good Friday so far. Hey, if you would like to donate blood and give that gift of life to residents in our area, folks in Roswell, you'll have an opportunity coming up 1 week from today, next Friday, January 14th. Vitalant office will be hosting a blood drive here in Roswell from 11 to 3. If you would like to donate blood during that time, all you need to do is give Stephanie with Vitalant a call or a text. You can reach her at 575-840-8178 and get on the schedule there. Folks in and around the Carlsbad area, your next opportunity to donate blood will be next Tuesday, January 11th. They'll be at the Boys and Girls Club Event Center, 206 East Pecan. That's part of United Way of Eddy County from 11 to 3. Again, call Stephanie or text Stephanie 575-840-8178 to get on the schedule there. For folks in the Artesia area, your next opportunity to donate blood will be next Wednesday, January 12th. Hotel Artesia in the meeting room will be hosting a blood drive from 1:30 to 5:30. Once again, call or text Stephanie 575-840-8178. And again, Roswell next Friday at the Vitalant office from 11 to 3. Yes, 11 to 3 that day. So, very good.
Give you a sweet vein gravy.
Yeah. And I think they got more coming up. And I know if you're a business or an organization that would like to host a blood drive, Vitalant would love to have you, get you on the schedule there and reach out and get some more folks to donate blood. Again, just call Stephanie. You can call her, probably call her on that one, 575-840-8178, and she'll be happy to get you scheduled and get you all the information you need to how to make that happen.
You know, they call themselves a blood bank, but it's real frowned upon when you go and asking for withdrawal.
Withdrawals, yeah. It's more of a deposit only.
It really is. Yeah.
You're not the one that's intended. Well, I guess you don't go to the bank to get the withdrawal. That's just it.
Yeah.
If you need that their resources, you gotta give them a hospital or something.
They're middlemen, hospitals. It's middleman between your blood bank and your veins.
Exactly. But it is really the easiest way for you to help your community. It's
especially if you have like one of the rarer blood types or one of the most common blood types that's universal. You know, if you have your AB negatives, great. If you have your O's, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm an A positive.
Are you?
Yep. So is my wife, weirdly enough.
I think I'm negative, but I'm not positive.
I learned when I joined the United States military. That's when they told me my blood type. But if you've never donated blood before, when you donate blood the first time, you'll find out your blood type.
Yep.
They will tell you what your blood type is. So that'll be one of the first things they tell you. So if you always wanted to know, gee whiz curiosity, and don't know, go donate blood. They'll tell you. Might be a good thing just to have handy information, especially if you're one of those unusual rare types or one of the types that can give to everybody or receive from everybody. That might be good information to know. So, because I think it's the O's that can give to everybody, right?
I think, it's O is the universal. How long can blood be stored?
I think, I don't know the answer to that question, but I hear on average, from the moment your blood leaves your body, it's about a week later it ends up in somebody else on average.
42 days.
Okay, that's...
According to this, we can store blood 42 days if we do not freeze it. Frozen blood can be stored for 10 years, but freezing blood is also a poor way of storing it. Generally speaking, we store blood in the refrigerator where we can store it for up to 42 days.
Okay, excuse me, I pour water.
These blood facts brought to you with the sound of pouring water. It's very ASMR, by the way.
It is. But it's the only way I can get the water out of the jug into the glass. And I gotta
get me one of those because never do I want water more than when I see you pour it out of that jug. It's just, it looks incredibly clear and refreshing when it's poured out of a metal bottle. I don't know.
It's tasty too.
It's so tasty too.
It's so tasty. Thanks to my Culligan reverse osmosis unit at the house. Where's the bell? You got a ding for that.
That just reminded me of the Vita Vita Vegemin thing. It's so tasty too.
Yeah.
When she takes the spoonful. I Love Lucy.
I will tell you this. I've been on this earth long enough to know that anything that they combine words or use the beginning of the thing like Vita, it's gross.
Yeah.
It's gross. There's any time pretty much any time they lead with something that says vegetable,
right?
It's gross. You know, I can just tell you that.
Something, Vita something. Yes, you're not going to like it.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen this pop up on the internet a few times, and on like those, on Facebook specifically, on like those like products you won't believe existed all these years ago. I keep seeing this one. It's an ad for, I don't know what it's called, but it's a meat softener. And they just show this ad with this horrible looking little girl with like a Jimmy Durante nose. And they're pouring on this meatloaf. They're pouring this, it's like green cadmium, I think is what they said it is. It's cadmium. But they're pouring this like green goop on top of the meat.
Okay. And it's meatloaf?
That's what it says. It says,
I got many questions.
The slogans like "Mom's meatloaf never went down so smooth with such and such meat tenderizer or meat
softener."
Yeah.
Yeah. These are the questions I have. One is I've never heard the term meat softener.
So my guess is
meat tenderizer, but meat softener does not sound appealing or appetizing.
My guess is that back in a bygone time, folks had softer teeth. Maybe their teeth weren't as strong, or maybe it was just like a specific. I'm gonna look up the product because I've seen this advertised so many different times.
But I mean, we have like meat tenderizers and hammers to pound out meat, and the various spices or whatever that they use to meat. But I've never heard the term softener. It's always been meat tenderizer. Softener, it sounds like medical.
And maybe
food.
this is fake now that I'm looking at it, because this is I'm on Snopes.
And then my second question is, if you need softer meat, I'm thinking meatloaf is not the hardest of meats to be. Like if you're going to start softening meat, why do you start with meatloaf? Because meatloaf is ground beef. It's already soft.
This is what it says. It says that burger will go down smooth with Arden Weenus meat softener.
This can't be real.
Only cadmium-enriched meat softening syrup. Pre-digested is the healthiest beef. But look at the little girl on the ad.
Oh yeah, the girl looks like she's hanging out 3 Mile Island or something.
Right, like she's got some kind of like messed up Jimmy Durante nose or whatever.
Yeah, I remember the picture now. Yeah, the meat.
So you've seen this?
Yeah, I saw it Tuesday.
And it looks like it's got a picture of the devil on the can.
I saw the picture Tuesday. Is that a real product?
So I went ahead and I just Snopes it. The claim is it's false.
Okay. Because that feels like the creepy kid. The fact that they're using it on meatloaf and it's called meat softener.
They've actually so the guy who does the Chapin whatever has crafted a number of advertisements that feature the fictitious Weenus. Although this meat softener promotion is likely the most popular of the Arden Weenus ads, Weenus has also purtively offered pre-toasted toast and Weenut butter to the grocery buying public. Golly, I love Weenus toast loaf. It's a loaf of toast. And then the other one is Weenus butter will change your world and your lunch. It's really good.
So is it based off of peanut butter or a like margarine butter spread?
It was made from so it says it was made from a 1952 advertisement for Peter Pan peanut butter.
Oh, okay. So he's photoshopping old ads and making them new weird ads. Okay, now I follow. Because the whole meat softener was a term that I was like, I don't feel that's real. That doesn't sound like anything that anybody would use as appetizing.
So the quote on the side says, "My daddy makes sure I get enough cadmium. Does yours?"
and the fact that they picked that girl that no one has said is pretty. Yeah, and it's one of those pictures you're not allowed to say it's ugly, but everyone is really admitting it's ugly.
Babies love a big, juicy hamburger, just like adults, but their little tummies are often overwhelmed, leading to discomfort and mess. You should give them beef. Beef is loaded with essential proteins or protons and electrons, but Arden Weenus has identified undigested meat as a prime cadmium thief in your child's diet. This cannot be tolerated, even under Eisenhower. Should have just read that and that would have told me it's fake.
I think you just outed yourself on that knowledge. But now I kind of want to try a meat softener product and make a whole line of meat softening products just because and make it legit. I saw that Tuesday. It was going around our meeting Tuesday, and I forgot he wasn't there for that. But we were showing that one around Tuesday, and I didn't read I just saw the picture of because the little girl, it's like an old, like 40s, 50s looking picture, but the girl doesn't look right. Like the nose isn't, the forehead's not proportioned right. It just looks off. But it's one of those pictures that looks real enough. You're like, oh, what a cute. And then, you're supposed to say she's cute, but she clearly is. But you can't be like, oh my God, who hit that girl with an ugly stick? So everyone reacts different, like, no, it's fine, but they know it's not. That's why I like that picture, because people have to act like it's pretty, but it's not. 9:42. Let's go ahead and pause for some news and Sean Hannity update. We'll also get you into your Chaves County sports update and quick break and all that. And then we'll chat for a few minutes and wrap up the show. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The New Mexico Department of Health announcing this week it's implementing revised federal guidance surrounding isolation and quarantine for COVID-19 effective immediately for anyone who tests positive for COVID, regardless of their vaccine status. You do need to stay home for 5 days, isolate and quarantine. You do not need to get an additional PCR test if you've had a positive at-home rapid test. If you have no symptoms after the 5 days, you can leave your home, but you are strongly urged to continue to wear a mask for 5 more days. If you have a fever, stay home until the fever is gone for at least 24 hours. To prevent the spread of COVID, tell anyone you have recently had close contact with and encourage them to get tested, monitor for symptoms, and reduce exposure to all other people. Of course, you can view all of the guidelines on the New Mexico Department of Health website. You're up to date. That's local news headlines. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Your morning espresso starts right here. It's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
And they're calling it a Republican war on democracy. How is voter ID a war on democracy? How is it, laws that say you have to be in the country legally, they're lawmakers, to have the right to vote? How is that in any way a war on democracy? Checking one's signature to make sure it's the same person. How is that a war on democracy? Having Democrats, Republicans, Independents, any party that is on the ticket have the ability to watch the vote count up close, not 100 feet away. How is that a war on democracy?
The Sean Hannity Show from coast to coast later today.
You just don't vote in November. You vote every single month with the money that you spend and the companies that you spend it with. Now, if you're still a customer of one of those large, overpriced wireless carriers, well, you're also supporting the candidates and issues that they donate to. Now, you're funding a leftist agenda that they're pushing. Now, if their values do not align with yours, I've got the perfect solution, and that's Pure Talk. As I've said, Pure Talk, they use the exact same 5G network and cell towers as those companies, but with the peace of mind that you're supporting a veteran-run business with employees right here in the USA. Now, this is one monthly bill you'll be proud to pay. And by the way, it'll probably be about half of what your current cell phone bill is because the average family saves over $800 a year. From your cell phone, just dial pound 250 and say the keyword save now, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Pound 250 on your cell, keyword save now from our friends at Pure Talk. That's pound 250, keyword save now.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty mild today with high pressure in place over eastern New Mexico. We will be cooling off a little bit with another cold front on Sunday, but no rain coming up. Sunshine and mid to upper 60s today. Overnight it looks like mid 30s and clear skies, and then a sunny Saturday warming up a little bit to the low 70s and breezy. Mix of sun and clouds and upper 50s on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Last we heard from the Goddard Rockets girls basketball team. The Rockets were winning their own tournament over the holidays. Now Goddard 7-5 will be playing its first game of the new year at home against Chaparral. That's at 2:30 on Saturday. Roswell High's got the Friday and Saturday off, but they'll be back in action Monday night against Las Cruces. That's at home against the Bulldogs. Now, as far as boys basketball is concerned, the Goddard boys are in Ruidoso for the Ruidoso Mountain Madness tournament against Taos, which is 9-3 tonight at 6:30, and then against Santa Fe Prep tomorrow at 3:30. The Roswell boys will be playing at Chaparral tonight at 7 o'clock. Could be a victory. Chaparral's only won one this season. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With an SRN News Business Report, I'm Jeremy House. U.S. employers slowed hiring in December, adding 199,000 jobs as the economy contends with inflation and shortages.
While the unemployment rate fell to 3.9% in December from 4.2% in November, last month's job gain fell far short of projections.
Economists expected the U.S. to have added roughly 420,000 jobs last month after several weeks of low unemployment claims and signs of strength from private sector payrolls. The December jobs report likely reflects little of Omicron's full impact on the economy. The two surveys conducted by the Labor Department to compile the employment figures occurred the week of December 12th, well before cases began spiking in major U.S. cities. Bernie Bennett reporting.
The U.S. trade deficit surged to a near record high of $80.2 billion in November as exports slowed. At the same time, imports jumped sharply. And the EU Statistics Office's consumer prices in the Eurozone rose 5% in December. With an SRN News Business Report, I'm Jeremy Hout.
Happy New Year! Isn't that what we usually say this time of year? But is happiness what we really need? Maybe it would be better to wish each other a joyful New Year, or a contented New Year, or peace-filled New Year, or maybe best of all, a COVID-free New Year. Joy, contentment, and peace, that's what the world really needs. We're coming off a crazy time of year when our world should be most focused on joy that comes from Jesus. But instead, we turn to a time of anything but contentment. In the book of Romans, Paul offers up this blessing in verse 13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope. Wouldn't that be a better wish for our world for a new year? From our family to yours, we wish you a joyful, contented, and peace-filled new year.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
What does paying $10 a month for health insurance sound like? Yeah, kind of like that. Open enrollment is on now, and you may be able to get health insurance for $10 a month. And as New Mexico's health insurance marketplace, BWellNM makes finding health insurance and signing up easy and affordable. And our services are free. Call us at 1-833-862-3935 or visit BWellNM.com to get the assistance you need and to get insured. Because you just never know.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $700 on average, and those savings add up. Imagine what you could buy in the future.
So I used the savings from switching to Progressive 30 years ago to buy tickets to the championship game. You know, between those two teams that didn't exist 30 years ago. Yeah, I'm a big Alaska Palm Trees fan. Which is a team now? In the future?
So switch to Progressive and save big, because those savings can add up in the future. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
Hey, Carrie, we need that tax report by tomorrow. Hey, Bobby, get me that expenses.
For Hari's accounting firm, client growth is exponential.
I know we're a couple of accountants short.
He needs whip-smart accountants at whiplash speed.
Hey, so why aren't these receivables matching up?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Alaska is the only state name that can be typed on one row of keys. Go ahead and try typing the other 49 states. We'll wait. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 9:51. 2 Alaska references and 1 break. Got the commercial there talking about the Alaskan palm trees in the future. And then your Alaska tidbit. Planned? You think? Maybe. Absolutely not. Hey, I did, for football fans out there, this will actually affect not only Washington fans, but some Bronco fans as well. Former Pro Bowler Clinton Portis is going to spend 6 months in federal prison. Y'all remember Clinton Portis? He was running back for the Denver Broncos and then got traded to Washington back, what was that, the 90s? Like 90? No, it was later than that, wasn't it? It was later than that. For Champ Bailey and all that. It was, I think, maybe that was late 90s that happened. I don't recall now. Now I got, or was it early, or was it 06? I might be 10 years off there. But anyway, he was a Pro Bowl running back for the Broncos and Washington. Well, he was sentenced, I guess, yesterday to 6 months in federal prison, followed by 6 months of home confinement. He was involved in a scheme that saw 15 former NFL players file almost $3 million in false reimbursement claims. Portis, he faced up to 10 years in prison for this conspiracy to commit health care fraud, seeking $99,624 in reimbursement from for medical equipment he never intended to buy. So basically, that's what happened. Is he got a bunch of money to buy some medical equipment? He suffered concussions. He had an inordinate amount of concussions and things. It's kind of a sad story, one that befalls many NFL players. But apparently that's what happened. Was he was given this close to $100,000 to buy equipment he never intended to buy. Well, Clinton Portis pled guilty to federal charges last September. Others involved include Frederick Bennett, Cindris Brown, Corell Buckhalter, James Butler, Rishi Caldwell. That one I remember. He just passed away before his sentencing, actually. John Eubanks, Joe Horn, remember him? Anthony Montgomery, Antoine Odom, Eric Pruitt, Darrell Reed, and Carlos Rogers also entered guilty pleas. All former. I think Carlos Rogers, I think he was a Washington player too, like a cornerback, I think. He was drafted by Washington as well there. Joe Horn, a former Saints receiver and father of Panthers first-round pick J.C. Horn, he was recently sentenced to 3 years of probation and 200 hours of community service for his role in this healthcare benefit program for retired NFL alumni. He also had to pay back $149,000, about $150,000. Buckhalter received a 10-month jail sentence, while Bennett, Montgomery, Odom, Reed, and Rogers were placed in house arrest for a minimum of 6 months. Now, apparently the ringleader is a former Washington teammate of Portis, Robert McCune. I don't remember him off the top of my head. Pinpointed as the ringleader, he awaits sentencing for 13 counts of healthcare fraud, 11 counts of wire fraud, and 3 counts of aggravated identity theft. That's a thing? Aggravated identity theft? Doesn't sound like those two words go together, but okay. Crimes that should lead to a lengthy stint behind bars for him, but they've yet to sentence him yet. Portis, who obviously he had spanned a pretty good career in the NFL. He's actually had a difficult time in his post-playing career, filing for bankruptcy in 2015 before his indictment on federal charges 5 years later. Portis suffered over 20 concussions in his career, and he continues to experience long-term effects, including frequent headaches, arm and leg numbness, short-term memory loss, and light sensitivity. So it's kind of sad what's going on there, but when you're broke and then when they try to help you and you use that money to not do what it is intended for, then you face deals like this. It's a sad situation. What's really sad is, just the whole, it sounds like what Clinton Portis needed was help back in the day, back when he was making this money and he was the Pro Bowler and everyone's circles and wanting to be a star and all of that stuff. And when he was making that kind of money and had that platform, apparently he didn't have good people taking care of him or knew how to take care of that himself. And that's what at the end of this whole story is the big tragedy on top. The concussions thing, it's so sad. And I hope the NFL is better with players now than they were 10, 20 years ago because of the awareness going on. But also on the same token, there is a modicum of part of it's on you. And that's something, because at the end of the day, and I know people are going to be like, what if you have no choice and all this? And yeah, what ifs? There's all a bunch of what ifs. But the actual point here is you ultimately make the decision. No one's holding a gun to your head to play professional football. You can choose other options. That being said, yes, you want to go into a thing thinking you're going to, but I don't care who you are. If you're a person that has desires to play in the National Football League or professional sports at any level, you got to know once you get there, there's a good and a bad to everything. It's just like any other job. Sure, you see a career in the NFL and you're like, oh, I'm going to make millions of dollars a year. I'm going to be famous. I'm going to have people that look up to me and want to be me and all the things that come with celebrity and come with professional sports. But the other side is, yeah, you're a product to many people, and many, you're getting paid lots of money, but the people paying you are making a lot more money, and they need you for a service and a product, and that's why they're paying you that much. So you have to accept some kind of risk, the good and bad. It's like, hey, we're going to do this, but this is what, and it's no different than any other life decision you make. Looking at COVID right now and looking at decisions you make. Some people are saying, we're getting a cold, I'm going to go, we got to do productive. Others have taken a different approach, saying, no, I got to shut down and not be nothing and shut down the world. And to be honest, the right answer is probably somewhere in the middle. In most cases, I find that the extremes of anything are probably not the right way to go. A little thought, a little logic, a little bit of just, taking the time to weigh all the options and then choosing the path that is the best for you is the way to go. And sometimes that it means some extreme to something you agree with or disagree with, but sometimes that's really the right path. And well, that's the big $100 million question here is how do you solve all that? And if we could figure that one out, then guess what? We probably wouldn't have a lot less problems. But I just see this story with Clinton Portis, and it's sad mostly, because one could also make the argument it's like, well, the sacrifice he made for the NFL, they should just pay him anyway, and give him the equipment and then give him some money. And you know what? There might be some argument there because a lot of people made a lot of money off that man. But same time, this is the point. You got to watch out for you. No matter what, you got to watch out for you. And if you're not watching out for you, no one else is. So look at that as a reminder, young folks, that, take advantage of all the things, but remember, you got to look out for you because no one else is. All right, we got to go. That's going to do it. Not that note I wanted to do. I'm going to just kind of ended up that way. Have an amazing weekend. Hope all of you have stay healthy, stay safe, have fun, and have a great weekend. We'll talk to you bright and early, 7 a.m. Monday morning. Travis and Sexton up next. We'll be back Monday. You're listening to